like, you know, to my fault, but I just feel like as a human being, we all have the capacity to do great good and great evil. And by the very fact that we are human and having this existence, like, why is it that the people, you know, in Palestine are going through the difficulties that they are? It's because of where they're born. And like, I know I'm jumping to something really extreme there, but what I'm saying is, like, in Angie's situation with what she's going through, like, I just feel like, is there, you know, if I can get a second chance, why can't someone like Angie get a second chance? Because addiction and alcoholism will make people turn away from you. When I got well, my whole family wasn't talking to me. The only people I had was the love, and I had people loving me when I didn't love myself. I had, you know, people putting me up in their house because my parents, just like her mum was saying, like, I'm done watching my daughter destroy herself.
Yeah.
So, like, what I'm saying is, like, even in the worst cases, and I honestly, if anyone ever wants to go there to an open meeting, you don't have to be an alcoholic to go to an open meeting. You can go and you can listen to people's stories. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. Like I say, that you can have a high bottom nowadays, and thank God. What, you know, you can be in recovery by, you know, 16. You don't have to crash cars and, you know, have your kids taken into care.
It's there though, button bells, because you obviously went through that, and not like,
I had the gift of desperation.
So as Chantel,
and the gift of having a heart.
And she doesn't want to change. She wants to be a narcissist. She wants all the money. She wants all the views. And while she has all these people blowing smoke up her ass and telling her this is fine, what you're doing is all okay, Angie, she's never, ever going to change. If it was just her and Sheila, maybe, do you know what I mean, or her and her family, that were able to address it. But because she has all these thousands of people and all this admiration and this, I'm quoting here, fame from TikTok.
Yeah. When things are going on,
TikTok is the issue.
When things are going on and they're chatting, she looks into the comments and she'll see the people that are for her, and she'll go, see, even, you know what I mean? And she gets all her outside boosting from the people that are in the comments talking about her. So she believes her hype. She is actually in that world now. She's lost.
Do you guys think as well, because obviously I know when it comes to alcoholism and stuff, it can, you know, change you as a person and make you like act in certain ways, but do you not just think that as a person she's just morally like just that way inclined, and the drink makes her worse?
She's an absolute, if you took alcohol out of the situation,
she's still gonna
narcissistic.
She's still gonna be like triggering people and stuff, isn't she? Like, it's just crazy that kind of character gets and she's getting sorry, man.
I think when, like, if you literally, you know, everyone's rock bottom looks different, and, you know, you can have multiple rock bottoms. Some people, it's like someone saying they're going to leave them. Some person, they have to, you know, obliterate their entire life and have nothing. I do agree with you, Mary, that I think TikTok is a major factor in this, because you know, when you're firing up alive and you're getting the money which you need for your addiction, and you're then also getting people lying to you and you know, giving you some admiration to watch your car crash happen, like, it's how, like, everyone knows how, you know, how many of us have stayed on TikTok for too long one day, or said we're going to have a social media break and then not quite managed it for as long as what we want. Now, Angie's someone who just turns on the live, and she is just there living in a room, like, day in, day out. So for someone like her, it's almost like she's going to need that phone, like, literally prizing from her claw, because you know, it's enabling her. It's her biggest enabler.
This is the thing as well, though. As I said, like, if you take the alcoholism out of this, her being an alcoholic, she literally has, I've always said it, what I call the Veruca Salt, thing. I'm a spoiled little brat. So if you don't do what I say, I'm going to threaten you and do things to myself because you didn't do what I said, and I want you to play with me.
Can I just, like, I've got a family member who's currently going through, not rehab, but, you know, when they go to meetings and things.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of enabling this person, because this has been going on for years and years and years. So I've been guilty of enabling them, but then I kind of did my research and looked into things, and I've called mental health services because they also suffer from bipolar. And they've kind of just said to me that we can't force them to do anything. They have to do it themselves. So they've done it themselves now, because I just literally cut them off, wouldn't have anything to do with them, and let them hit rock bottom, to know that there was no one else around them that was going to help them or enable it or give them money or give them food or whatever, to the point that they had to go and get that help, because you can't force someone to want to get better. And
no, you can't.
you know, I've been guilty of enabling as well, that person. And that's why I just say it for what it is in regards to the people that are sat there saying, no, your behaviour is okay, you've done nothing wrong, because that's incorrect. You need to pull people like that on their shit and say to them, like, I'm going to just leave you to your own demise, to the point that you do go and get help.
There's a 12.
The thing is, the thing is, people will stick by people and enable them because they actually love that person, and it's against the mob. Like you've just said, Alicia, that you was doing it with a family member or a friend or whatever, and that's because you feel for them. So I've done it with a family member as well. Like, I've enabled them to be able to go out and get their next drink. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to see them sort of suffering, but they are suffering already, if that makes sense. But you do it out of love in some respects, and it's more love that you do it when you say, enough is enough. You have to, I can't contribute to that more, sort of thing.
I can't contribute to your own destruction.
Because you're contributing to their own demise, and you're contributing to what's going to happen in the end, which will happen. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, we say in recovery, basically it's insanity, prison, or death is the routes that you go down. Like, there's no alcohol. Like, addiction only gets worse. Like, if you cross that invisible line and you are in active addiction, you don't suddenly wake up one day and you know change morally, put everything right, because you don't know how. And again, I'm not making up excuses for Angie or anyone else. And please, like, I am just one person in recovery here. I don't speak on behalf of...
No, you're doing brilliantly, Button.
Yeah,
honestly,
I just know that it's, this is just my own experience, and people have their own experiences too. What I would like to put out there, because people don't know it exists, is, like, you might be aware that there's 12-step fellowships, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, but there's also a fellowship called Al-Anon, and it's for the family and friends of people who have addictions. So it's your place where you go, because the thing is, I have enabled people too. Just because I'm, like, the very fact that I'm an alcoholic, I have alcoholic friends, I have addict friends, I've helped people. My best friend died by suicide 2 years ago because they relapsed. That's just what comes with this territory, right?
Yeah.
But Al-Anon, what it gives you is a place to go, basically, and be around other people who are like, I can put up a boundary with my brother, or I can put up a boundary with my partner, but you try telling a mum with their child to cut them off. You try telling a mum to say, be done with your child. You're not to answer the phone. You're not to pick them up. You're not to get them a drink. It's fucking hard, right? So there's support out there for people who are not alcoholic or addict themselves, but they are trying to navigate this really tricky territory of helping someone but not knowing what that actually looks like.
That's brilliant. I didn't even know about that.
even today...
Can we hear from the couple of people? Sorry, guys. Goddess Karma?
Yeah, Goddess Karma's cool.
Yeah, I've come up because basically I was in the same situation with my sister, drink and amphetamines, and at the beginning of the year, we tried to get her help, but the only way I could get help was, one, if she took herself in, and two, if she attacked me. And now at this point, she's now a schizophrenic, basically, and it's through drug induced. And so we got her clean. She come out of hospital end of February, and she's gone back drinking again. Now, physically, as a mother of two boys, I cannot babysit this woman. I cannot drag her out of the pub every weekend. I cannot drop my kids and go and see her. You can only do so much to help people, and they don't want to help themselves. It's hard, and I tell you, she's my only blood family left. As hard as it is, I had to just let her ruin herself, because what happens when you come out of that, your body's clean of it. Now, she's on the phone telling me, I've got to have a drink a day because, I'm an alcoholic. But we got her out of that. We got her out of that state. You know what I mean? We got her clean. And even with all the support around her, like, you know, she's gone back down that route. Now, one drink with her meds and the voices are back, the people are back. She had 5 different people living in her head.
Oh, God.
Do you know what I mean? So it is really hard. And that's why seeing Angie and people like this on the lives is just like, I personally can't watch it 'cause it's quite triggering.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you
so.
just like, I don't supply, I mean, I was the main reason my sister had to take into hospital because I did not have the finances to take her any more alcohol. It was Christmas time. I was at home with my kids. She was shaking and going to convulsions because she was an alcoholic and she needed a drink because they need a drink. And the doctors will tell you that. I've been to the doctors with her and they say, oh, she has to have 1 or 2 drinks a day to stop the alcoholism before we can get her back in.
Yeah, because you can't just stop, can you?
No,
'Cause
you can't just stop.
really,
Literally, she
like,
was
you can
shaking,
pass
holding
away
on
from-
to the dark, like
can
convulsing.
I might add that Angie is at that stage. A couple of nights ago, she was saying, right, I'm never going to drink again. But I must admit, I do have like this one glass, but, you know, I'm taking this one
Listen,
glass
that is
I've
the
got a
best
bit of,
sign. If I had a
because I've
pound
got a
for every time my
headache.
sister said, I've only had one
Yeah,
drink.
because I've got a bit of a headache and I feel better now. Now I've taken it. Isn't that what you're describing?
Yeah,
It's
that
a
is exactly, that is
physical
alcoholism.
addiction.
If she can't go one day without a drink, then she can't. And her doctor will tell her to keep drinking until they can get her. But until she
Yeah,
actually
it's not safe for an alcoholic who is dependent, right? Because you could be an alcoholic that's not a daily drinker, but what you're describing with your sister is someone who has a dependency on it, and it's actually, you could endanger their life by making them stop
Yeah,
drinking.
and that's where Angie is now. She's depending on it.
Yeah.
But the most hard thing is when you get them clean, they've gone through all that detox, you get them out and then they go and do it again. I've only turned my back for 2 weeks. Within those 2 weeks, she's back to having to have a drink every day.
Well, in
But I think-
recovery...
Sorry.
Oh,
I
how
was just going to say, I
frustrating.
think when people are going through that, like my family member's addiction is crack. And I think relapses, you can't be mad at people for relapses because it's like, you know, it's an addiction and it's hard and it's what they always fall back on when anything gets tough. Even the smallest thing that wouldn't bother.
What it is for her, it's boredom. And because there's nobody to sort of look after. I mean, like I just said, every part of the family member is gone already.
Just a small town girl has put, but she doesn't drink every day.
Oh, really?
I think you're probably
You're one of them.
these
So you're one of them
enablers.
hurting her. Small
Yeah.
town girl, you're one of them hurting her. Shame on
We
you.
actually, small town girl, if you want to come in the box and give us your views on it, please. You're certainly more than welcome.
Whoever's gifting her is enabling her. You know what I mean?
Okay, my love.
Can I just speak on something else that someone said?
Come down.
We did cover the fact that you don't have to drink daily to be an alcoholic, right? That's fact number 1, and fact number 2 is you don't. And relapse is part of a lot of people's story, but it doesn't have to be everybody's. So, because the thing with relapse, right, is that an addict deludes themselves that they'll be able to get back.
That one.
An alcoholic or an addict will think to themselves, oh,
Here's
look,
that.
I'm going to have one more drink, I'm going to have one more use up, right, and then I'll be back. But the thing is, with addiction, it doesn't work that way, because if it was as easy, right, as quitting, then every alcoholic and addict would have quit already. If it was that my mum, if it was based on doing it for other people, I would have done it for other people. I couldn't do it for other people. I had to do it for myself.
Sorry, Button Bell. Small town girl.
I think can I say something?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, on you go, Nettie.
Hi. I think Ange, I think she's okay. She's great. I think she is a bit of an alcoholic and she takes other things clearly as well. I don't know if it's Valium or if she's on prescription meds. But you can see her when she goes on live and she's got all the crusty lips, at the corners of her mouth, and her pupils are huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's ever said that she's medicated, because she does have a personality disorder as well, doesn't she?
Well, no, because when the paramedics were there yesterday and they asked for a medical history,
clapping.
she said that she has anxiety and depression. There was no bipolar or borderline personality disorder mentioned. So, no, I don't believe that she's been diagnosed with anything.
Nettie, can I ask you, why do you think Angie's okay?
Well, going back, I think she has good discussions sometimes in her life, and
definitely
I
does.
think she is straight
enables-
to the point with a lot of things. Let me
What
finish.
discussions does she have that is good, apart from enabling, apart
You
from
don't need to
coming at-
swear at me. I'm not swearing at you.
I didn't swear at you.
She didn't swear.
She
Like.
didn't swear.
If I was swearing, you'd know I'm swearing.
Yeah, she definitely didn't
Like you
just.
say, what does
I think
fucking
she's so
Angie have?
hypocritical.
No, she didn't say the F word in between that.
Oh, sorry, I do apologise. I
What I'm
thought,
going to say to you though is about her discussions.
yeah.
Is you're saying that she does good discussions. No, she doesn't. She does echo chambers where a group of people will then basically she'll have somebody in the box, then she'll have 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 people on one person. She will then either defend the wrong person, so she'll defend DV abusers, she'll defend
PDS.
she will say about SH, about mental health. So what
About
discussion-
SA.
About SA.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say.
Do you think
this
they're
is
interesting
TikTok,
conversations?
and she has a platform of thousands of people coming into her life. Now, everybody they all talk about each other, the M's, the misread, and they all talk about each other. So, she's just out here. I think a lot of what she says is a bit raw and straight to the point. She could be wrong, she could be right, but I think
Nettie,
everybody on
Nettie, do you-
TikTok...
You're really showing yourself,
Nettie, do you
Even
think
still, like
that
Miss Reg,
Angie
she
is an
goes off and
alcoholic?
goes to work, does her shopping, and goes and spends time with her granddaughter. Like a lot of these TikTokers go off and do things with their family members, and actually, like, all
Yeah.
Ange does is abuse her mother. I would give my right arm to have my mum still in my life. So
Yes,
to watch
me too,
her
I've
abuse
lost
her
my
mother
mum.
like that is sick.
Yeah.
Nettie,
But
do you
in
think?
actual fact, what I'm hearing is what you may find interesting is her,
Oh wait, is this the lady
getting
that had the
drunk,
fake profile?
puking, sleeping in her own puke,
Yeah, it's
sniffing
disgusting.
her own pants after she's
Oh,
peed
Nettie,
herself,
you're the one that had the
and
fake
all that.
profile
Is that
last
what you
week,
find
weren't you?
interesting, Nettie?
Do you think
No,
as
I
well?
didn't know that. I don't find
Then
that
you know,
interesting
okay,
at
you
all.
watch-
I think it's
you watch-
disgusting.
You watch her, you say you like her conversations and stuff like that, yeah? Do you not think that she's just baiting and using controversial topics as a bait form for views without actually having any form of intelligent or compassionate conversation?
Okay, let me elaborate on
He
that.
calls it bad
I like
time,
your
yeah.
conversations because other TikTok creators come up, challenge her, and I like listening to, what she's got to say, what the other person's got to say.
Why would
Like
you listen
that.
to somebody that's wrong though?
Not even
Sorry?
wrong, but do you like that we'll have a genuine conversation about something important in society and then she'll just turn around and call me a bounty? Like,
No, but what? Could we go back? You said that Angie's an enabler. That was why I
the
joined
people
the
around.
live.
The people
No,
around.
we said the people
Do you
around
think it's
her are
okay that
enabling her.
Angie uses racism towards people?
Yeah, she's got big views. She's got big
Did you say
views.
yeah?
She is
That's what
pretty
it's about.
racist.
What's that
Some
mean,
of the
big
things
views?
she comes
So
out
you
with.
think
yeah.
racism's okay, Nettie, yeah?
No, I'm not. You're just not listening to what. Why are you
I just
getting
said to you,
emotional?
do you
she got
think it's
big
okay that
views.
Angie is
And I
racist?
said, no, she's
More
got big
crazy
views,
when
and I
they're
don't
having an
agree
argument,
with a
yes
lot
or no?
she says.
Oh my God, Nettie, are you that potato farmer woman?
Oh, yeah, she is a racist.
Yeah,
Drop her.
she's the potato
drop and
farmer
block.
woman, I think.
Wait, what? Oh, you guys know so much. I know you.
Don't you
I
remember the
do.
potato farmer woman? I can't
I
remember
knew
her
she was
name.
wrong. Her energy's so off, for God's
What?
sake.
Mary Motormouth went, so you agree with racism? She went, yeah, well, she's got a big
She got
platform.
views.
Wait, who
She got
remembers the
views.
potato farmer woman? What was her name? Did she
That's
leave or did you
ridiculous.
kick her?
She was
Right,
sick.
not your average. Are you okay? Not your average.
Morning.
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 So I was just making my bed and I was listening to what was being said and excuse me, gruff voice. And as a daughter of my mum, sadly no longer here, she passed when I was 21. But she was thank you. She was I'm 52 now, so it's but it never goes, obviously. But what I wanted to say was I lived with a raging alcoholic and she was a raging alcoholic and I saw every different sort of personality that Angie displays that happened in a night. I remember being woken up at 2:00 in the morning and lined up with my sisters because my mum had cooked a roast chicken she actually ate it whilst drunk and still had the juices on her top, but we were accused of taking this chicken. So,
Oh no.
so I'm not saying it for sympathy. I know it's horrible.
I know, but like
Yeah.
at the time, I'm putting myself in your shoes as a child.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, it was
Trigger warning,
horrendous.
guys. There's numbers in the poll.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to trigger anyone. What I'm
No, just carry on, love. I just want to make sure people know there's numbers of that.
what I'm trying to say is that what I can find, it's not funny, but you know, like when I've told my daughter about it, who's 32 and 26, they, you know, we look at it and say, my God, you know, it's absolutely awful. But that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that the person that made the point of, but she doesn't drink every day, can I just bring this sort of thought onto it? My mum didn't drink every day. She was a raging alcoholic. The reason she didn't drink every day is the effects of the amount of alcohol she had in that one day. She physically couldn't do it. She was sick on herself, felt sick. It makes you ill if you drink that much alcohol. She needed a day to recover. My mum drank religiously every other day, drank one day, next day recovered, drank the next day. And I just think that needs to be mentioned because yes, some people might get up and have a drink every day, but not, you know, usually if you're drinking, she drank vodka and it knocked her for 6 the next day. She physically couldn't do it. So there are people that are raging alcoholics that don't drink every single day. Some can do it and do it and need to do it because of the physicalities that have been mentioned. But it robs the person, and children living with alcoholism in their parents, it robs their childhood because I became the parent.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that spin on it that just, you know, we all know an alcoholic doesn't have to drink every day. It's just, you've got to
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I just need to address something, guys. Sarah Lou in the comments.
She's just apologised because she didn't know. Do you remember? I don't know whose live it was, but do you remember that woman, the potato farmer woman? And then I can't speak. The Nigerian guy come into the box and she was like, "I give people like you a job." And then she was saying about African people, and she was being like
just
underhanded
on
racist.
this
She's
platform,
horrible.
we don't sit and allow people to be racist, sexist, homophobic, anything. This is a thing because it's my platform. I basically just drop and block. I don't give them a chance to keep repeating the same things or let them actually have a say because
I can't remember who was there. Were any of you there? Was anyone there? Or was it just me?
I remember
Hiding
it being
alone.
Angie. Yeah.
Can't believe this.
But I'm going to
great.
drop. But thank you so much for letting me up. And can I just send all of you
problem at all.
love,
Thank you for sharing.
Well, love and strength,
and
Angel.
joy, and have a beautiful day.
You
You
too.
as well, my love. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for coming up. You're always welcome up here.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
No problem, my love.
Hello, ladies. Good morning.
Hi, Chelsea.
The thing I find really frustrating, I work in the NHS, I'm medically trained. If you went to the doctors, right, and they false diagnosed you, right, you would turn around and you would be like, right, I'm not happy about this, I'm putting in a complaint. But people are happy to sit there and listen to the advice that she gives, taking it as gospel, and it is not. But I listen so much, and I'm like, you are giving out false information to these people.
Frustrating for you to listen to.
It's really frustrating, and I get really, like, I do get to the point where I'm in the comments, I'm like, right, Chelsea, you need to chill out now, like, chill out. But it's really frustrating because the amount of false information that she gives out, and people believe her. And
that's
it is,
the thing.
and it's damaging. Like, it's damaging to these people. These people are going away and thinking, oh, I must do that because Angie, and I believe everything that Angie says. And it's like, no, please don't listen to this information. Please seek proper medical help.
Chelsea, being like part of NHS then, so how much time is she wasting? Like, the potential of you saving people that actually need saved and the amount of time that's been wasted on her.
Look, obviously, as you can imagine, like, I have to be careful because at the end of the day, I have to protect my PIN. So, look, I can't say what state of mind that she's in. I can't say what state of mental health that she's in. However, I can reassure people that if medical professionals thought there was a danger to life, she would be sectioned. And I can't say any more than that.
Yeah.
And
If that makes sense.
My sister had to be in a real bad state.
Yeah.
Literally, she hadn't drunk for a few days. I could not take any alcohol to her. It was Christmas Eve. I was here with my kids. There was nobody that could take alcohol to her. And she actually thought she was dying. And that was the only thing that made her call the ambulance.
Yeah. Unless
I
there is...
called the ambulance was what the doctor said to me, or the 911 was basically was... Because I said, I'm scared of her. I said, she's like hallucinating. She's hearing voices. And she thinks that her voices are telling her something about me. And like, I thought she was going to hurt me. And they said, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for her to actually attack you and then sort of take issues. And I was like, I'm not prepared for that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
unless there's actual danger to life, they won't section like that. They won't unless there's danger to life. And
she was supposed to be sectioned for 3 months, and they let her out 6 weeks after.
Yeah, I think take that, and I also will say the fact that she's taking diazepam.
Thanks to Harry Poppins, we have actually got details of what happens actually waste ambulance time and people that have actually passed due to waiting on ambulances. So there's more than 500 unalivings in England last year after long ambulance waits. Exclusive figures is more than double the comparable fatalities in 2021. It's basically like a hidden scandal of delays. The fatalities included people who had had a stroke, heart attack, or whose breathing had suddenly collapsed, or who had been involved in a road traffic collision. In every case, an ambulance crew took much longer to arrive than the NHS target times for responding to an emergency. At least 500 people unalived in England in such circumstances after a 999 call during 2022.
And this is the problem, right? If they have a phone call like that, they have to take it seriously, right? So you could have a phone call, let's just say, about Angie, and you could have a phone call about somebody else. And if they decide to take Angie's as a priority over that other person, that's the problem.
It takes a lot as well for somebody in that situation, because my sister went through loads of mess before she would call anyone. She never did. She never went to the doctor. She never did anything because she thought it was her problem because it was drugs and alcohol. So for her to call the hospital that day was a massive thing. Like,
And then also,
when I got the phone call off the hospital, it was New Year's Day, 10 o'clock in the morning. I got the phone call because obviously I'm her next of kin. And I just could not believe it. I was so proud of her. Do you know what I mean? For one, because she actually, you know, went and got help. But it's sad because you think all the time that the M's and like the Angie's waste. There's actual people out there like my sister and like other people that actually
one person whose husband sadly passed away from a suspected stroke after a 13-hour wait on an ambulance.
Yeah.
13 hours that person had to
we all
wait.
know time is of the essence with the stroke.
Yeah.
Another
And the
person
problem
also
is,
died after a 12-hour wait. Oh God.
the problem is, you know what her response is going to be. Well, it's not me that's calling them.
Yeah. But
And
I think this is what we're saying though about her, what's it called? Her enablers, like her mods, all these people, all you people out there that are enabling, gifting, commenting, liking her lives, that are actually doing all this stuff, that you're phoning ambulances and that, you're literally taking these resources away from people who actually need it. Angie doesn't want the help. Angie has offered the help. Angie will never take the help.
Angie's area is very, very bad.
Yeah.
In West London, we've just got one A&E left across 3 boroughs.
Yeah.
Do you know as well? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, yesterday they were saying that a concerned family member had called. It weren't a concerned family member, it was someone watching the live, whether it was one of the mods or just one of the viewers. They're calling, pretending to be concerned family members, and then you've got other people calling saying, I'm watching on TikTok. And obviously if you've not come across that live before, if you're just completely sort of taken in by her story, just remember this is happening weekly now. So if it is to do with mental health, something needs to be done. I personally think it's for attention. And Matt yesterday was like, oh, Pearl said I didn't SH, so here I am doing it. Look at the claret. Do you know what I mean? It's just
I do.
people need to open their eyes and see things for what they are. Unless you're stupid, it's so obvious what's going on.
I do want to ask people that are in here that are Angie supporters, just ask yourself this question. If this was your friend in real life, would you not have an adult conversation with them and say, look, please come off, get yourself some help and sort yourself out? Or would you sit on that live and continue to enable it? Just ask yourself that question in real life. Not how you feel in real life.
But laughing with her as she abuses her mum and all sorts.
I know what you're going to say, Button Bell. Like, people do try, but I mean, the friends that she classes on TikTok.
What I was going to say is that with people in Angie's situation, it needs to be more than like a sort of fluffy idea. It needs to literally... What's that noise? Can anyone hear it? It's like scratching. Someone filing their nails.
Can everybody mute?
Yeah, sorry. It's so when first what I'll say as well, if people aren't aware of this, that like any addiction, whether it's drink, alcohol, gambling, sex, work, right, that is just a symptom of the underlying problem. So what I mean by that is that's not the, like, once you take the drink and drugs away, you've got to deal with what's left and what's the person. So that's why I get when people are saying, well, hold on a minute, isn't Angie just like this actual awful person? It's because no one has, she's never ever had to address any of the stuff that's going on underneath, because what she's trying to do, and it's obviously still working for her, right, that her alcohol is numbing and taking away and allowing her to have this behaviour for much longer. And I think in real life, you know, if she did have family around her and friends around her, you know, what I don't understand is, like, most of us have access to phones and Google, right? Is that, like, interventions can be really, really successful. Like, if you're a supporter of Angie and you think that she's an alcoholic, and there's no grey area, it's not, oh, she's a bit of an alcoholic or she's a bit of an alcoholic some of the time, right?
She is an alcoholic.
She's an alcoholic. If you go onto Google, right, you can look up intervention strategies. You can be like, this is the approach we're going to take. We're going to, like, go to the mum. You know, the mum threatens to throw her out. It's like, rather than it just being, oh, a little bit of a chit chat and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, it's like, no, we're going to turn up. We're going to present the person with the evidence, and we're going to say.
But they won't do that though, Button Bell, because they want the drama just as much. They want.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't do anything but sit on that live.
I don't think any of them are friends either. And like Alicia said, right, I'm one of those people that was actually really shocked and horrified. As I explained at the beginning, I bounced into Delusive's live last night at the exact point that she was holding up her hands and there was blood down her arms. And I literally put my hand to my mouth.
Guys.
Horrific to, like, come into that. Like,
so without any context, and whether that is tomato ketchup or whether it's fake or whether it's not, that is shocking. That is shocking behaviour. So I do think that, you know, it's that thing about, like, any views, any watching, right? She sees that as all attention. It doesn't matter that it's negative. It doesn't matter that people slag her off. It doesn't matter that people hate her. In actual fact, the hate is fueling her. So, like, people watch Big Brother or other stuff.
Yeah, totally.
We're watching a car crash happen in real time.
Yeah,
but you know, when there have been some points in the past couple of weeks whereby she's been speaking to other people in the box on a one-to-one basis, and she is obliterated, but everything's, like, calmed down. And then she says, oh, but I feel so low. And she said it not so many times, but she said it a few times of late. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, is that like the come down because everything's calming down? Because it is a depressant, isn't it? So it's like, Is it that, or is it that, yes, that is the truth that's coming out? She really is low. Like, are we hearing some truth in that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not really.
I'm sorry, can we just hear from Anna Steele, not a slug? You've been waiting for ages. Oh, do I need to unmute you? Is that it?
Me?
No,
Sorry.
Christine, if you want to go, yeah?
Sorry, I thought you were chatting to somebody else. But I think she's wrecking everybody else's lives, doing what she's doing, right? But she doesn't give a shit. And she is telling her mum that she wants the bills all in her name now. Morning. So her mum doesn't have to pay the bills. So she's enabling her mum to forgive her in some ways when she wants.
I kind of think Mum's given up on her because
No, her mum wouldn't trust her with the bills.
her mum like
I don't
doesn't
trust her
really
with
seem to
her
like.
head whacked, let alone my actual finances.
Yeah, she turned around and says to her mum this morning, I want all the bills in my name.
Sheila's definitely not that stupid.
Angie and her mum are trauma bonded.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Did you not hear what she was doing to her mum last night?
It was
She was basically making her
awful.
mum tell her trauma history about her mum and all that.
And I saw it that she was laughing and sniggering and she was saying stuff like, oh, your mum put you into care, didn't she? She kept some of the kids, but you were one of the ones that she sent away.
Horrible.
Oh, Mama G, it was horrible. She was making her mum, because her mum basically had 7 kids and she had to work. And she was saying, but your mum gave up on you. Your mum gave you away, didn't she? And she was like, yeah, because my mum had 7 kids and worked a 40-hour week. She couldn't handle us all. So unfortunately, some of us did have to go into care. And Angie was like, well, how many of you
And she
think your
was
mum gave you
forcing
away?
her mum's mouth. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
She
And
was
her mum was
forcing
really
her mum to give all her traumas.
and mum was really understanding
Oh,
of it
God,
as well. Like,
do that to your mum, man.
I know, it was disgusting, wasn't it?
And you
Oh,
can probably
mother.
tell with Angie's mum, knowing that now, what's happened is the mum, that's probably why mum won't get her sectioned, because she feels guilty and she wanted to be different. So she's overcompensated for Angie and turned Angie into a spot, horrible, selfish alcoholic.
Yeah.
all
She's
makes
overcompensated.
sense.
actually say.
She never wanted her child to feel the way she felt.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Angie is using it as a weapon against her mum in order to keep her in place so that she stays where she is.
But when her mum was
They-
chatting to her,
they-
she was like a wee child.
Unfortunately,
Her mum
Sheila
never
created a monster.
Her mother
Sorry.
never got taught healthy boundaries and how to have healthy boundaries with her 2 children. And that, unfortunately, has rubbed off onto Angie. And mum's got no boundaries. Mum has never put no boundaries up. You can just see it.
Wow.
And you see as well how much she flip-flops. Like, the mum will come into the room and say, right, that's it, I've had enough, you're out. And the thing is, as we know as kids, right, if our mum says something and then you back down, like, it doesn't have any weight anymore. So her mum could be saying anything to her, like, right, I'm going to kick you out, I'm going to throw you in the street, and Angie's just going to laugh and be like, yeah, you say that every day and it doesn't happen.
And then,
That's exactly what she does. She does laugh like a child.
What
When
she
your
said
mum
to her
came
mum,
in-
Dad cheated on you, didn't she? Didn't he? Dad was a cheater and all that sort of stuff.
And she claimed that when her dad was passing, mum was having an affair.
Yeah, guys, let's get tapping up the screen. If you're in here, pay your rent. We don't ask for gifts, we ask for tax.
No, but she said that as well. She said it a couple of weeks ago. Ranting at her mum.
Yesterday that it was her dad that had an affair, not her mum.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, she said her dad
She's
had an
accused
affair.
both
No,
of
but
them.
she's
She's accused
her mum
both of
the
them.
night I saw her. She said like, and because she said, oh, you've sullied your dad's name and everything else. It's my husband's name and all that. Your husband, that you were having an affair whilst my dad was dying. It's on the For You page.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
But then she turned
Pam,
around
are
and
you
says
okay, my
last
love?
night it was her dad that had an affair.
That's how wicked she is, man.
But she said some things. It's hard to believe
Pam, are you
something
okay?
that comes out of her mouth.
She weaponises their history against them, and it depends which one she wants to play the side of, the same way that she does online. So it's just the way that she weaponises the history against them.
Pam.
Just for context for people that don't understand, back in the day when Sheila would have been young, there was no welfare system like there is today. So parents had no choice but to put their children in care if they wanted them fed and looked after. It literally came down to, in order to feed my children, I'm going to have to put them into care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she's bringing that problem up on live anyway. This is what Angie is. She's a master of manipulation. She has manipulated her mother, her family. She has manipulated everybody on this app that falls for her bullshit. She's a master of it. Manipulation, narcissism.
Including the people that keep going in there time and time again, thinking that they're made friends again and all that. It has to be said.
In the same way that Angie will blame her drinking on her behaviour, like I can categorically say that that can never ever be an excuse, right? In the same way people can't say, oh, I've got poor mental health and so I've done this and this. The reason I can't be anywhere near someone like Delusive is because, unlike other people who can seem to forget what was happened 24 hours ago, this woman I've seen manipulate and calculate situations for people to be ganged up on. Personally, if you're a Tommy Robinson supporter, right, that's enough for me to not go in your live, right?
Hello.
Yeah, that's enough for me. Like, I'm done, right? It doesn't matter how many people, thousands of people are sat in your room. You could be having the best, most amazing, wonderful conversation in your room that I've ever heard. If you support Tommy Robinson, I'm not going to be in your room. So we need to remember as well, like, what this person actually stands for, and actually what this person is saying. So when people are like, oh yeah, she's got a great room, has she? Has she got a great room?
It says a lot about you as a person if you think that her room is a great room.
People need to stop thinking a great room is based on numbers, because that's what she's put into their head, is that it's based on how many people are in a room. And same as referring to themselves as a cult. I said this yesterday. A cult is described as someone who is excessively devoted to someone who has skewed vision. So when you're in a cult, you don't call yourself a cult. They're called anything but that. It's only from the outside and afterwards that people can recognise that that's what's happening. So for people to volunteer to join something called a cult speaks a lot to their behaviour.
Yeah, and it's only
what they signed up for.
What Angie has created is a room of hate, and she has created a room where racists are welcome, DV abusers are welcome. She says stuff.
are welcome.
Yeah, she has said the worst, right? And I do think that is not to do with mental health, and that is not to do with alcoholism, because if it was, then every alcoholic would act in the exact same way.
It's to do with attention. Angie is very control.
Her mind.
She wants attention.
He thrives on chaos as well. Like, I'm just going to tell Mary, is it okay if I just tell my story dead quick? I've got 5 minutes. Yeah, no worries. So, I just all know my mum passed away when I was 15. She'd trigger warning, unalived herself, and I was left with 2 little sisters who were 9 and 11, and my dad was already a big drinker. I'd say he was probably a binge drinker, and he turned into an alcoholic basically overnight. And like, as an adult now, looking back, I can understand the pain of being left with children and that. And like, my point is, like, I don't think she realises who she's triggering. Like, I don't speak to my dad at all now. And you know, the man's got dementia and that, blah blah blah. I've had to take myself away from the situation, but just scrolling through and seeing the behaviour from her triggers people so much. I don't understand why she gets away with it on the app. Like, the memories that come back for me, it's just it makes me feel a pit in my stomach.
And people will,
Frankie, I think she does recognise. I just don't think she cares. There's a difference between recognising and caring that you do it.
And people
I think she just, it's devoid of empathy.
If you don't like it, don't watch and stuff like that. But the thing is, even if you're minding your own sweet business and you your own sweet business and you come across it and be triggered. You don't have to be there for 10 hours to be triggered.
And let's not remember,
It's on for.
let's remember the green one a couple of months back did something with something, and there was uproar across the app, and rightly so. So actually, why is it that the green one gets so much hate and and backlash, and rightly so, right? If you're going to be picking up something, like your live needs to be shut down. Angie's live last night, considering it would have been getting reported, there was none of that. There was no like, oh my god, I can't believe it. There was some of that, but it was mainly like a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke. It was almost like, when Angie was saying that, oh, do you want me to do, like, trigger warning, I will say this. Angie was saying herself, oh, it's not enough for Pearl and Dave, right? They've been goading me all day saying it's a scab. Well, now, like, look what I've done to myself. Do you want me to go deeper? Do you want me to go harder?
Yeah,
do you want me to, like...
Did,
yeah, and that, people, please know that is emotional manipulation. That's when people...
The thing is, she's caused all this. She's the one that caused all the trouble with Pearl in the first place by storming off the box like a little kid.
Yes.
She's the one that thought she wanted to go and help. She wanted to go and help. What was it? The blonde one.
Yeah.
And then she started on her the day after. And I was like, hang on a minute, you've just lost all your friends to help this girl. Now you're being rude to her.
Mad Hatter.
And the thing is as well, like,
I was kind of like bewildered by it all. I was like,
why shouldn't we talk about Delusive Angie as well? Because actually, if this was someone on our TV screens, if this was a person...
She says if it's on the internet, it's fair game.
If this was someone in the Big Brother house, right, who was acting up like this, we'd all be talking about it. We'd all be saying, look at this person's behaviour.
Oh, what about that actor that was on his knees and licking, do you remember, licking the milk out of the bowl?
The milk.
Yeah.
George Galloway.
That's the one.
Remember that?
She says she's famous, and then when we talk about her, she don't like it.
Like, the reason why I'll talk about Angie, is because, the reason why we'll talk about this is because it has affected so many people, and all she has is echo chambers that nobody actually addresses the fact that she's a narcissistic, manipulative piece of crap. It's like Reds don't talk about it. People are like, oh, but Angie's mental health, and that Charlie Fairies boxes today, all he had in was people that were there to like Koofy and say, oh, it's okay, Angie, what you've done and that. It's not okay what you've done. What you're doing on this app, Angie, is not okay on any level, and I will run up a live every single day. I've said this from day one until you are off this.
It's also not her room that people go into afterwards to be able to express the way that it affects them. What happens, it's that trickle down effect, because her answer is, I don't care, I don't want to hear about trauma dumping, although that's exactly what she does herself. It's rooms like this and so many other rooms that people come in to share their feelings or the way it affects them or their life experience in order to help other people and to, bring awareness to the issue. So it's not just a her room issue, it then trickles down into everywhere else.
It's not only that, it's kids that come on this app too.
Yeah.
That.
I mean, personally, my children are very, very young, right? And I fortunately had them in recovery, and they've never had to witness anything that I was like in my previous life. But personally, I will keep screens away from my kids as long as possible. And I know it's a 13 plus app, but personally, my opinion as a parent and as an adult on the app is that I think it's an over 18s app. And so I understand that it's really difficult, and everyone will have their own issue to navigate with this. Like, if you've got a child on social media, how can I speak to that at the moment when I've got young kids? I know that they only talk on. I've got a younger sister. I know she literally only communicates on Snapchat, right? But actually, if we blow out further, this is actually a TikTok problem, because in the same way that I come off Facebook because there would be like the worst images on there, and you would report them and then they would stay up because they're getting views and clicks. Like, what is happening on this app is disgusting and disgraceful, in that it's exposing us to the point where we lack sensitivity anymore. That we're being desensitized to like really, really awful stuff.
In all fairness to that, though, I had a friend.
You see it once, you can see it again, kind of thing, and you don't. doesn't affect you, but it does affect people.
Yeah. Go on, who was talking then? Was it Goddess? Sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, me and my friend, I met her on here. She had a younger daughter who was on TikTok, and when we used to come across like Chelsea Liart and Angie and all sort of things like that, we'd always be on WhatsApp call watching like TikTok on the phone because she was quite a way away. Her youngest daughter didn't even know who Chelsea Liart, like never saw these people because they weren't in her algorithm.
Yeah, so
You see what I mean? So I think it does depend on your algorithm and what you watch and where you are, whether the kids come across it.
Yeah, because I've got 2 stepchildren that are teenagers, and I did actually ask them when they was here on the weekends, because I was looking at something on TikTok. They think it's hilarious that I've even got TikTok.
I mean, unfortunately, they did know the other one because they lived quite close to his area, so they knew of him. You know, the unfortunate remote control carrot guy.
Oh God!
So sometimes it's like, but I'm really lucky because I've got an 18-year-old and an 11-year-old, and none of them are on my 18-year-old's only just started like watching TikToks, but none of them are on social media. Yes, they are gamers, but none of them are on any social medias.
I think it will be the health epidemic of the future times. I think we will look back in 10, 15, 20 years and go, what were we all doing? Like, like, this is crazy that we, has anyone seen that Netflix documentary where the people who create social media apps, they don't allow their own children to use them?
Yeah.
Yes, about that. Listen, Mary, I'm going to drop because I need to get some dinner. I'm hungry, but thank you for the safe space and big love to everyone in the box.
Big love, Frankie.
Guys, bye-bye.
It's a reflection of how quick society moves and the effect that electronic media has, because everyone talks every day on here about, how quick TikTok moves. It moves. The difference is we're in a society where there's, generations of people who don't want to say no to their children, who think that they're going, well, I'm going to give them all that I haven't had. There was a reason that a lot of us were told no when we grew up. No, it's not appropriate. No, you're not old enough. And just because your friends have it doesn't mean that you can. But a lot of people will back down on that because they just don't want that argument. And that in society is what's going to be coming out in years and years to come.
Well, this is what's crazy about it. So right now they're all sitting in Angie's boxes discussing,
you know what I mean? Where it's,
discussing homophobia.
She had my mum to kind of disguise the fact that she was a lesbian, and then it got to the point where it was kind of
instead of actually addressing the actual issues that is her. Yeah.
It was a lot harder back then. She'll be in the comments and saying she wouldn't allow it for her son.
Wow.
So she wouldn't come in the box.
Business as usual.
So what, they're having a conversation about homosexuality?
Yeah,
it's manipulative deflection. Yesterday it came up before even all this started, because Claire Duffy had made a statement about, if I found out that one of my children was homosexual, I'd kick them out, I'd never speak to them again. So it was, so it came up again yesterday as a deflection to what had previously been done. And then when that subject wore out, she then went back to baiting people that it's all their fault. So it's just, it's manipulative deflection, because if you listen to what she accuses other people of and take their name out of it, it's her own behaviour that she's describing. So everything she's blaming Pearl or Dave or anyone else for, it's actually her own behaviour that she's describing. It's self-hate. It's like she's just...
It's projection, isn't it?
It's projection, yes. Thank you. She's projecting her own self-hate in attacking other people.
Yeah.
Because when I hear her talking, I'm thinking, Jesus, that's you, love.
Exactly.
Like, I get, and that's why I don't watch, because I'm getting angry, because I'm like, you're speaking about yourself. What the hell? And then when she was going on about they fell out with me and all this, I'm thinking, you caused that. But I just get angry.
But Goddess, did you not?
And at no point does anyone say I was involved in that. I put my hand up. I was part of that. I did the same. It's only ever calling out other people's actions.
Yeah.
What she lacks is accountability. Yeah. And she lacks self-awareness, because when you hear somebody, if you're ever on someone's live and you're talking about yourself, if somebody is talking about themselves, then they lack self-awareness, and she really she just has not. I think what you said, Sarah, though, that it's just a projection of her own self-hatred. So she's just like, well, you all don't like me anyway, because you know, last week she was best mates with Pearl, and then the next day she can throw her under the bus. So to her, everything is transactional, nothing is real, nothing is genuine.
She has no sense of self. She has no sense of knowing who she is, believing in herself. So therefore, that's that whole projection thing, because literally she cannot. That's her main addiction. While everyone talks about drinking, her main addiction is at the moment is social media, because she cannot sit with herself in her own company and enjoy her own company.
She's not empathy.
This is what I'm saying, though. This is what's annoying me, though, because this is what I'm saying. They're all just in the boxes, just totally deflecting away from what the actual issue is. Like, Nat Kaza and that, she can fuck off anyway, because after what she did with that poor girl in that box.
Nat Kaza and that, she can fuck off anyway, because after what she did with that poor girl in that box. Nat Kaza and that, she can fuck off anyway, because after what she...
No, I'm repeating her. You're right there, Button Bell. Yeah, after what she tried to do with that girl when victim blaming her and that in her box, like, nah, that's not on either.
After what she tried to do with that girl when...
So I don't know why she's now sitting there.
She might have had a phone call, because sometimes it does that, doesn't it?
Back, my love.
I think it's a good example too of what's really added to ruining TikTok is monetization, because there are, you know, many platforms over time that there isn't money involved, but as people are all turning it into businesses, it's to do anything to make easy money. What, you know, like, it's not having let's say a proper job. People do really well on social media because they put effort and research and time into their platforms, into their messages, you know, into what they're promoting. But people that don't do any of those things, like when she talks on topics, sensitive topics, she's the first to admit she does no research. She just, you know, someone sent it to her. It's the topic of the day. I'll just talk about it for money and for views.
Yeah.
That's all she wants.
She's basically deflecting off the fact that she's a total can't.
It's when she talks on parenting and stuff like that as well, judging other parents. I'm like,
sorry,
you don't even
2
have
seconds.
kids, so you've got like no leg to stand on here.
Yeah.
You can't go around judging other parents and telling them how they should and shouldn't be, because, or what they're with a stupid partner or whatever. It's their own fault, like, for their traumas. That bothers me. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, you don't even have children, so you know nothing about, you couldn't even look after yourself.
No, and people with a sense of self, if someone said to you, why are you talking like that? You've got no idea. People with a sense of self will go, you know, geez, I need to consider that and take that on board and either educate myself or shut up and know when to get involved or not to get involved.
Yeah, or listen, because you might actually learn something.
Yeah, she's not willing to listen.
Yeah, that's a big annoying thing.
If you look at the topics that she's covered, at the, you know, the distress that it's caused people, there is so much that she could learn, but by admitting that she's learnt something takes away from literally what her platform is. So it's only, you know, rage baiting and race baiting, basically, because if she's not doing one, she literally is doing the other.
Hi, ladies.
Yeah.
Grand Rising.
Hello.
Sorry, Kiki. On you go, my love.
I wasn't actually going to rise on this one, but one comment or one person in the comments made me rise, I suppose. I can understand, like, I don't even need to talk on her character. We all know who she is. We all had experiences. We've all seen a whole lot, especially if you've been on here for a long time. I think specifically to the lovely, lovely person that is invested in Torian in the comments being over there. We can understand why everybody thinks this is attention seeking and this is this, because that woman is so damn complex. There's going to be 100 reasons that are contributing to her behavior right now. But what some of us saw last night, and maybe a small group of us, and these are probably some of the people, and I've never been on board with her or made any excuses for her, but some of us saw a genuine situation that was not a nice situation to see as a human being. Forget what were our opinions of her. I can take out my feelings and my emotions for her. But her mum was a whole different situation. That broke my heart. and the way she was going on with her mum and baiting her mum and what her mum was saying. But there were moments that even with her, I had to let go of all my feelings about her and all my views about her, because as a human, I saw somebody in pain and I saw somebody that needed help. Unfortunately, as I experienced last year with a very good friend of mine, trying to get help isn't always the way. And if you're not willing to get help yourself, you need good, solid people around you. I had to rally two of my other friends to literally babysit one of my friends while she was at the lowest of the low. Now, we all have our opinions based on our experience, and that's going to play a part. And that plays a part into how I view her, I suppose, or viewed her last night in this one-off situation. My friend was there self-harming in front of the ambulance drivers. The scenes were horrendous. I can't even explain that was going on for weeks and weeks. And she had a problem for a good 2-3 years and we couldn't do anything. When it got to that point, I literally called on 2 other people because she never wanted to talk to anybody about it. And she'd wake up the next day and pretend like nothing had happened. When she was at her lowest of her low is when I called on 2 other friends of ours who I knew I could trust and rely on. And the 3 of us had to babysit her day and night. She got taken into hospital for about 3 days. There was conversations from her family, who were deadbeat anyway, about trying to get her section because they thought that was the easiest option. Whereas to me, this was about addressing the root cause and getting her some help with some addiction. So 3 of us literally rallied, chipped in, and found her a rehab that we had to then wait 2 weeks for a bed. But we literally stood there and babysat her. And those 2 weeks felt like a friggin' year. The stuff that we saw and experienced, now don't get me wrong, she's not going on like a racist or anything else, but she was vile at points and she was manipulative at points. Like, it was a whole crazy process. We had people sent in from NHS that were supposed to be addiction counsellors who were sat there telling us, no, don't send her to rehab. She's not ready. You need to wait 2-3 months and wean her off. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. My friend will be gone in 2-3 months. So I'm going to do what I think is right and ignore your damn experience as you claim to have. And luckily we did, because she's now been good for like 14 months. But there was a moment last night, like she's thriving, and even after she got out of rehab, bless her, she lost her home, she lost everything else. We had to make sure the kids were okay. We've got the kids in counselling, they're older, but we still knew they'd experienced this mad behaviour, so we had to make sure the kids were okay as well, and they were getting therapy, because otherwise they're going to have the next generation of issues, even if she's sorted out and fixed up. It's a whole mad. And I had a neighbour at one point, there was claret up and down the stairs in the hallway, where I was continuously trying to get her help. And it took over a year to get her help, because she had been sectioned before. And every time people turned up, they have to get 3 doctors. There's 2 or 3 doctors that have to sign off to say that someone can be sectioned. And because she had been sectioned before, she never wanted to go back. She went to a horrible, horrible place, which again, I understand. So you wouldn't want to go back to a place like that. But it took a year of me finding out who her parents were, contacting her parents, trying to liaise with her parents to get her some help. And then she finally got some help. But so the services and stuff aren't always available, which is why you need good people around you to be able to do that for you. Now, you can't force anybody to do anything, but when someone's at their lowest, you've got more chance. And it isn't always about being nicey. Like, I made sure that I had one of my friends there last year who was going to play the motherly figure, that was going to do the softly hugs, love, this, that, and the other. I was there to tell her to fix up and get over herself and do whatever I needed to do. And we got into physical fights at one point, like physical fights. So it's mad. And like I said, these people can be they will act like nothing's ever happened the next day, change their behavior and like put all the apologies, all of this, and then within an hour we're back to square one. It's crazy. So there was a moment last night, however much I would never want to say this about her, because I'd never want to do anything to defend her based on her character and how she goes on, that genuinely broke my heart, because she has nobody around and her mum can't do anything, and she needs someone that can come in stronghold, take her out of it, so that she can, and like Belle said earlier, addiction isn't about addiction, regardless of what type of addiction is, whether you
underlying trauma,
drink too much, gamble too much, there's always underlying things there. And what you see with her, and I'm no psychologist, so I don't want to try and
I did spot
her.
that straight away. Like, I don't really have like anything for Angie, but with everything that went on with her mum last night, that was the one thing that I picked up on, that shit, this is like generational trauma. Do you know what I mean?
There's something there, and just
You've got to be
like I said, I
likable
don't
to
wanna-
have friends to
Yeah,
be able
I
to
don't
do
wanna-
that.
I don't want to analyze her because we know she lies a lot, which is also normal for people that are in addiction. You expect them to lie in this and that, and they're not thinking. But there's moments where I see her, especially when she interacts with her mum, where she goes back to teenage childlike behaviour. Now, is that a manipulation? Yes, it definitely can be. However, to me, it says that something happened at a certain point in her life in her younger years that has stayed with her, and that is what she goes back to every time she's interacting with her mum. But like I said, I'm not a professional.
Yeah,
So
the issue has never been dealt with. It's always been brushed under the carpet.
So for anyone asking things like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed in Torian," listen, you can be disappointed. I don't think she cares if anyone's disappointed.
Exactly.
We love Torian here, so go away.
That's why Torian sat in her box now, because Torian is concerned about her, is what I would say. Like, I can't speak for Torian. I don't know what she's thinking, but to me, if she's in her box over there right now, sat beside her, joining in this conversation, is not to deflect. It's not to put a blanket over it. It's because last night I saw Torian concerned about her, trying to get her off. She was the only one. And then the only other person, and again, I can't believe I'm saying this because I despise this person. The only other person I saw a slight bit of humanity from, or who recognised something in the situation in the moment,
Was AR.
was AR.
I knew you were going to say that.
Where he stopped and recognised something. Like, I can't stand the man, but he did.
I can't stand him either, but I saw that as well, Kiki. I saw it as well.
I have to give him credit where credit's due. And like this man,
I don't know about credit, but
the
yeah.
old man is like from areas that we all know people. Like, Mama G, you know how it rolls our ends.
Yeah.
I do not like this man, but he did the right thing. And that was probably the first time I saw him with some genuine humanity in that man's body. Like, I've never seen it before, ever. First time. So I can't...
So much so he said he wanted to take the video down, and true, he did.
Yeah, and you saw it in that conversation. If you watch it was a moment where he was out of character, and we know this is his character and how he goes on, because we know that man's a vile, nasty man, but he had a second where he was like, no, I can't do this. And he said himself, it's because I've got people in this situation in my family right now, which is why, depending on our experience, depends on how we're going to perceive situations. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, but that's how I viewed it. And for the first time, like I said, for the first time last night, I was like, this woman needs people around her who can just drag her out and make her do something, because she is not going to do something by herself. And she's got a fundless wine habit, so she's going to be doing whatever she does. She also gets a chance to be around people that are just yes people, you know?
Yeah, she chooses to push people away so that she's not held accountable.
The thing is, before she was an alcoholic, she wasn't a likable person. Otherwise, she would have those type of friends that you are, Kiki, and your friends that helped your friend that was going through it. Otherwise, she would have those people around her. She would.
But again, we can go deep and go into and like I said, I'm not gonna, because I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not gonna pretend.
She's not a likable person. She's a narcissist, and she always has been. And that is again going back to what you guys are saying, her trauma.
Yeah, but I'm not here to make excuses for her. I'm just saying that in a certain moment of that last night, I was like, I'm sad. This makes me sad, you know? And I have to take my emotions for her and my opinion.
It makes me sad.
I've got to take my personal opinions out for her, which is hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, but I have to put my personal opinions for her aside and how I feel about her, and say, right, that if this was any other human on the street, like I'm stopping on the street to help the homeless people. Do you know what I mean? To see if they need anything, or they need medication, or they need vitamins. So if I can do that for someone that is just on the street, and I know these people are running madness, ripping people off, doing what they're doing, and 100 other things that go on, then I can have a little bit of compassion for somebody else. I can't let me not liking them influence, you know.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Right, well, what I'll do is I'll play the video of AR, and we'll see what you guys think.
Earlier, I'm not going to lie, as much as we troll each other, I'm not going to stand there and start saying, you deserve that, you don't deserve that. Mental health is serious, and I really feel it for your mother as well. I really want to see you just like drink a lot of water, get to sleep, get medicated, and get some help. And I mean that in the sincerest form. I feel like, yeah, I'm being serious as well. Mental health is serious. I've got family that are going through the same thing, so I'm not gonna make a joke of that. It's close to home.
Yeah. It's difficult.
He's still a dick.
Helen, there's no big up AR.
He did the right thing in a moment. He said the right thing and did the right thing in a moment.
Nobody pick up AR because you won't get muted. Yeah. That does not make him a good human.
You're gonna see the light there. You're getting there.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'll also just point out as well, this video is from his actual
He knows
page,
what he's doing.
so he put the music over it himself and did all this himself. Again, he knows what he's doing.
Like an episode.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah. I've been in my pharmacy. I've been in my pharmacy.
Okay, just stay positive, chill out. It could be worse. Remember that. Always say that it could be worse. And there's other people that are probably dealing with stuff even worse than you. So count your blessings.
Yeah. Even if it's children.
Oh my god, sorry, I just had to laugh. Because while they're having a serious conversation, folk are like putting cowboy hats on her. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's sad, isn't it?
I'm gonna take down that video. I made a video of you earlier today, and I'm gonna take it down after live.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to do that.
No, because it doesn't sit right with me. What I saw today, it doesn't make sense. It's kind of hypocritical of me having a video of you. My heart goes out to you tonight.
So that was a video on AR's page that he put the dramatic music over himself. So yeah, we get what he's doing as well here. But as Kiki says, it's a tiny flicker of humanity.
Yeah, I'm going to drop. So I was just saying, it's only because somebody or a few people kept mentioning Torian and Torian being in a box, and I'm disappointed in Torian because she's in her box and participating. People will go into her box for different reasons. Most of them are going to go in because they are part of her cult. Most of them are going to go in because they like the drama and they like the hype and they like all the other bullshit that comes with it. But there's also going to be the odd person in her box that is there for a completely different reason. So we need to be careful how we judge people in this as well. I mean, I can't see myself ever going. I said I'd never go back into her boxes and I never did. So I'm never going to probably be in there. But who knows? Maybe it'll get to a phase one time that even I'm in there. You just don't know. So yeah, let's not just judge everybody under the same bracket.
Listen
and everyone's entitled to their opinions. I know this woman is not easy. This woman is not likable. Like, she has offended most groups. She's offended most groups that like I stand for and are very, very deep to my heart. So don't get it twisted. By no means do I like this woman in any way, and my opinions like that change. But yeah, I'm just saying sometimes you just see a little something that you have to put your feelings aside for a sec and pray that people get help. Because if she don't get help, then we're going to keep doing this. This is going to be the recurring circle. Nothing's going to change. And we're all going to be talking about her this time next year, saying all the bullshit she's doing then as well. So it's in everyone's best interest if she switches up and somebody can help her. Yeah, I'm going to drop. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
See you, Kiki.
Okay, Kiki.
No problem, Kiki. Thanks for coming up, my love. You too. This is the thing, though. Like, I know that's what she wants to keep it real for everybody to keep talking about her. But the thing is, if we don't talk about like the type of person that she is, then it's all it is, because obviously we're not a big group of people. We're not like I'm not like a busy platform. The thousands of people that she's affecting, at least we have like a space where people can come in and have their opinions actually heard, instead of just going into these echo chambers where it's all love for Angie. Oh, Angie's great. She's done this. She's done that. We know Angie's a piece of shit. So we're going to talk on it. This is why we need to have these spaces so people can come and talk on it and be heard. Do you know what I mean?
It just glitched. Everything stopped.
Quiet.
Yeah, it's just, it was only a split second.
Oh, sorry, is it working now? Yeah, so it's like we need to have these spaces because, like today, that Charlie Fairies was running a live on it, wouldn't let anybody in the boxes because he's a little pussy. Wouldn't let me in the box because he knows he's an absolute dickhole, and you can fuck off, Charlie Fairies. But yeah, we address the things that other people won't address, even though we're a small group of people, we're small lives, stuff like that. As I said, I'll run up a live every day until she's off this app. I don't give a fuck. She needs to be off this app. I don't care. She's a narcissistic,
Mary, yeah, I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, she does need to be off the app, but as everybody keeps saying, nobody can be cancelled. So it's either she is going to say, "Oh my God, it's enough is enough," or, you know, we're going to basically see a live and direct snuff movie, and the people in the comments hailing her are going to be, you know, the producers and directors of that movie.
Oh, defo. No, yeah, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Keep it real. I wonder if the police would actually. This is another thing as well with the police and how she says she's got all these reports.
Listen,
she's taken to the police. She's doing this. She's doing that. This is what the police does.
When my sister got bad at the beginning of last year, like she thought there was cameras and everything hidden in her house. Obviously, it was the voices and that. Like there was many a time she said to me on the phone, "Oh, like I've called the police." Like when she was in the hospital, she thought she was in police protection, and she said like, "Oh, the police said that if you don't hand the videos back," because she thought I planted the videos. If you don't the cameras, like the police have told me you've got to hand them back. And she was so believable. Like they're believable. Do you know what I mean? They believe
she's exhibiting a lot of signs of full paranoia at the moment where, you know, she believes everyone's scheming. And when she says everyone's watching, the police are watching me, yes, because you choose to turn your live on. You choose to press that button every day to interact with people. Well, not to interact, just to have people watch.
And obviously she's been doxxed in the past, so she knows people know her address. So it must be paranoia kicking in. But, like, yeah, it's weird what you see because obviously I'm still experiencing it with my sister. She doesn't take her meds and that. She gets really... I notice it now because, like, she's looking to the side of her or she talks to drawers. It's really funny. Like, do you know what I mean? Not like knickers, drawers that you put cuts in. No, like she'll be in the kitchen like, with her head in the cupboard, like there's somebody in it. Really strange.
And people like that will tell you, yeah, this is the message that they're giving me, and they can.
That was through drinking and amphetamines and prescription drugs, and basically because she drunk and took too many prescription drugs together, it's what it's called a drug-induced schizophrenia. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So no, I just wanted to add. I've come across Angie a couple of times. I'm kind of new to this TikToky thing. I'd normally just have you playing in the background, listening to you all debate and chit chat. And I accidentally a few weeks ago got caught in one of Angie's things because she's debating something and it got under my skin. I thought, and it was regarding kids. I'm quite a structured, strict mum, but I kind of sat on the fence with her, but then last night I was watching somebody else's live and I accidentally came across her and I was absolutely appalled at the amount she was drinking and was allowed to be live and obviously be disturbed. And then the police turned up. I was just shocked at the authorities letting her down. But then I was sat thinking, you're asking personally for everything that's happening to you and towards you because she's known to the system, according to Ange, but she doesn't use the facility. She doesn't use these systems that's there. And then at 2:30, I woke up again and I was like, well, is she all right? And I'm thinking, I don't know this lady, but yet she's disturbed me.
I think it's too, when people get upset that, you know, they don't act, emergency services can only do so much. So if they go out, they've got a duty of care to, you know, check her out and whatever. If she says no, at
Well,
some
the police
point
turned up. The police was there and they had their foot in the door and they was talking to her. They didn't realise that she was actually live. There was only one lady in her box that was saying, let the professionals
Oh no,
in. They're
they
there to
know
help
she's
you.
live. They know she's live. They've been there that many times.
Well, that's what she fed back. She says, I know you've been watching my videos. I'm thinking you're so paranoid, but yet you allow yourself to be paranoid because you're letting these...
The policeman did say, we have seen your lives, so they
Yeah.
did actually acknowledge that to her. And when they were there the first time, they said, who's your next of kin? And she explained it was her mother. And they said, can we have her phone number? And she's like, I don't have it available. The bottom line is her mother is already on record as her next of kin. So when she came home, and as it turns out, Angie was saying, like, you called the police on me, and Sheila was saying, no, I didn't call them.
Is that the earlier time that the police turned up? Because when I was back on at 2:30, her mum was in her room saying they're on the phone, talk to them on the phone.
Yeah, so when her mother came home, she was on the phone, and it turns out it was to the police. So Angela took the phone off them, and then when they asked to speak to Sheila, she's like, no, she's not in the room, she's left, I'm her daughter. So they're like, well, we're coming back out, just to let you know, we'll be coming back out again for another visit. Because the police asked, who lives in your house? And she said, myself and my mother, she's out, she'll be returning soon. So because she's refused care and because she's a known person, they could very well contact Sheila to let her know this is what's gone on. We've gone to your house. We've asked her to come to the hospital. She's refused. So that was why, could be why Sheila was on the phone when she came home, because the police may have rung her back. So she kept saying explicitly, no, I did not ring them. That doesn't mean that the police didn't ring Sheila to... 100%, 100%. My belief is that the police rang her to say, we've been to your house, this is what's happened, just to let you know before you go home. Because as a older person, they may have been trying to give her a heads up as to what she was walking back into.
It was 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning that her mum was in her room with her mum's phone. It was really odd.
I know, because Sheila had been to the bingo.
Yeah, I 100% believe that the police, and the way that she kept wording it and the same way, 100% believe that the police rang her to check, and that was just before she got home. So they're probably like, keep us on the line while you go in and check.
God.
And then when Angela baited her and made her tell the whole story about her history and stuff like that, and then she did the narcissistic thing of going to her mum and saying, I was only joking, I didn't mean it. And her mum said, have you still got me on that device? And she held out her phone and said, no, look, the screen's black. But she knew that she was still recording her from the bedroom. She knew that everyone could still hear her from the bedroom.
I'm just shocked that
so the police would have had no alternative but to then
turn her off.
Say we're going to come out, and that wouldn't have been, I don't think, necessarily for Angie's situation. That would have been a duty of care for an elder who they heard arguing. Like, they were still on the phone when Angie was screaming back and forward with her mum. So they would then have a duty of care to come out and do an elder check.
So she had 2 police sections and a ambulance service turn up.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why people get angry. Because when they turn up, at some point they have to write it off and leave. If they're not going to accept the help, they're not going to admit the help. She blatantly lied and told the police, the paramedics, when they said, what's your history, what drugs are you on, do you have mental health issues? She basically, everything she said was a lie, because people watch her behaviour daily. For hours.
She did say to the paramedics that she's known to the mental health service and to speak to a GP.
She said her doctor knows everything about it and he's managing
the crisis team.
Yeah. So Charlotte, she does this every week. But what you'll find, Charlotte, what you'll find is she will do the same thing either probably, I don't know if she'll do it tonight, she's probably too hungover. But probably by the end of this week, there'll be.
And you've got to remember, with the same ease that we watched her lie to those paramedics last night, and she literally said, no, I don't have that. No, I don't do that. No, that's not a problem. And we watch that daily. We see that daily. It's on. You don't have to watch her lives. It's on FYP. With the ease that she'd lied to the emergency services, she probably also lies to her own doctor. So it's like a catch-22, but police and ambulance can only be there for so long because there are genuine people that then need their help. So when people get really upset and saying, why didn't they stay longer, or why didn't they, take her away, they can't take her away unless she's putting herself or someone else in direct harm. And in the same token, they've addressed the situation and they have to go to someone else who could be going through something so much worse and have been put on hold to come to what is an attention-seeking situation.
It's just eye-opening that it's actually tolerated on social platforms, and I'm shocked that it wasn't removed because it went on for hours, and I'm like, how does this get played for hours and hours? And then somebody said it's because she has loads of usernames. I'm like,
one
what?
of many.
Yeah, but see, she had accounts taken down last night, and one of her accounts she had back within an hour. So, yep, one of her accounts went down, and she had it back like about an hour later.
Oh gosh.
She's got 12 different accounts, Charlotte, that she'll use. 12 different accounts she can go live on. She is one of many on this app that have done things like that. There has been SH on this app. There has been somebody smacked their child on live. There has been beaten on live, fights on live.
It was just in the comments too. Don't forget that she rang the police after they left, and she wanted to put in a complaint and made allegations that the policeman said disgusting things to her.
Oh my God.
While they were there, and she was screaming and yelling at the lady on the phone, and the lady's like, settle down, let's like talk through what happened, what did they say? And she just kept getting more and more agitated and escalating, and in the end she told that police lady on the phone to fuck off.
No.
Yep, and slam the phone down.
All recorded, And
yes.
like was said, the police are already watching her on TikTok. They're already watching her. So
she said she had a clear head when she said, I'm going to ring up and complain about their behaviour and how dare they. They said that, they called me Angela, not Angie. Oh, sorry, they called me Angie, not Angela. That means they watch my TikTok. The whole paranoia. Whoever rang up and complained would have said Angie and her surname, which she said several times. Yeah. So they referenced her the same way. And previously when they've been there, they've said, what's your name? And she said Angie or Angela. So she's on record. But yes, so what happened was they came, they left, she rang the police, she abused them. And then when she's I want to make a complaint. And the lady's like, hang on, like stop, settle down. And when she wouldn't listen, and she's saying, listen, the way that you're talking, carrying on, and she's like, you're supposed to help us, fuck off, and hang up.
It was the way she was asking the paramedics for ID. I want to see your ID before you touch me. I'm like, you really do live on a knife edge. You really are.
No, that's because you know why? Last time and previous times that she's done this and she's been on live when they've come out, people from her chat or her mods have said, just check who they are, make sure they know who they. So that's in her head now, that when people come out, they could be people pretending to be, paramedics and whatever. It's all just part of the deflection. But yeah, there's no surprise that the police probably rang her mother after being out there, and then
she absolutely flip-flopped me last night. Yeah, so she absolutely flip-flopped me last night. Where when something niggles at you and you're like, this doesn't feel right, look right, and isn't right, that I couldn't judge, and that's why I've come back on today to see what people's opinions are, because I'm like, I don't really know you. I don't need to know you, as awful as that sounds. You don't benefit anything from knowing her. But I'm like, is this what social medias are like? I'm 40 years old and I'm like, is this what it's like?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that's why I feel bad for you, because a lot of people come on TikTok thinking, I came on TikTok thinking, la 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 la, this is going to be lovely, la 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 la, I'll get
and
some
for
viewers.
people,
and then
for people that say, why is it brought up, why she talked about so often, Charlotte, no offence, you are the example of why this room and other rooms bring it up. Because when you go, I don't know her, I scrolled across her, and then, you wake up and you think, God, I wonder if she's all right. Like, you don't know who these people are, but your brain's then ticking over. So while they have no care or concern, it's literally that effect that they have on people, whether they watch or happen to scroll in or
It's
past.
because I'd had a genuine nice chit chat previous week, and then last night somebody was actually recording her live, and I'm like, what's going off? And you know when you get a bit curious about something, you're like, oh, this is a bit of something, I'll just see what's going off, being a bit nosy. And then it like just escalated over the hours. It was just escalating, and I'm like, is someone seriously taking this lady serious? Is she mentally struggling? And then she just started going on, and then police turned up. I'm like, our services really do fail people sometimes. Because, yeah. And even to be live, and then police officers being so considerate talking to her, I don't know. I get it. I understand it, but
I think that there's two ways of looking at it. There's the person and there's the behaviour. So as a person and as a human, I have humanity, I have empathy, and it was sad to see, and I have pity that she chooses to continue to do this. But it's the behaviour that we point out, because it's the effect of that behaviour on others.
I mean, I did not realise how much and how often she's live.
Oh, like 14 hours plus a day.
And it was only when her mum said, you're back on there, are you? And I'm like, whoa, you must be all day, every day, all night. Because even when I checked at 3 o'clock, she was still live talking to a young girl about getting food delivered. I'm like, you really are...
No, after the police came and while she was like fighting with her mum, just before her mum came home, she was ordering wine online at like 12:30 last night.
Oh gosh. But if she's known to a crisis team, I just couldn't see why the police wouldn't get the crisis team. I was just baffled.
Hello, good morning. Can I just weigh in a little bit on the police side of it? Because I've got experience from both sides of it. I was... Oh, can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I was married to somebody who had a severe issue with alcohol, and trying to get any support from crisis teams and stuff while alcohol's involved is very, very difficult, because many of the mental health services don't want to work with people when they're intoxicated for obvious reasons. And I'm also the mother of a police officer who deals with these kind of situations regularly. And so it's difficult from both sides, because she definitely needs to be involved with services, but while she's drinking and in denial, no one's going to touch her or be able to help with anything. And from a police perspective, there is only so much they can do. Nobody can be sectioned in their own home. So unless the police physically see her doing something whereby they can arrest her and put her on a hold, she's in her own home. It's...
I know so many people that have been sectioned from their own home.
I thought you could be removed. Authorities can remove you.
You can only be removed if you're putting yourself or someone else at physical damage. If you're attacking yourself or someone else, that's the only time.
I have seen way less than that.
No,
and they've been put in.
Well, I haven't, and
that's a different subject.
I've been on both sides of the spectrum with regards to, a husband at the time who did create a lot of physical harm for themselves, did refuse police services, and I begged and begged and begged and spent many years begging for assistance, begging for help. And in the end, it got to the point where he would be arrested so that then mental health services could be involved. That's the difference. Saying, oh, well, she needs to have a crisis team or a mental health team go in. They won't. She's not doing enough to be sectioned. There isn't enough beds in the UK for a start. She's not doing enough at the moment when she's sober to require for her to be in a bed in a mental health hospital. She's not. She's pissed. She's pissed up. She's doing these things. She's not harming herself when she's sober. She's very lucid. She knows exactly what she's doing until she's 5 bottles of wine deep.
And I do think mum enables it a bit. I don't think mum's honest with the police and the the ambulance when they turn up. I think she covers up a lot for Ange.
I think her mum's scared of her, truthfully.
Me too.
She doesn't actually ask for help. She's always, I noticed, I only see it on the FYP, but she's always covering.
I think that's that codependency thing, but because even back in March, the mum was saying at previous call-outs, like social services is saying, you have to leave this house, I can't live with you anymore, the effect it's having on me is just too much. And yet when they go back and forward, and it's not banter, it's baiting. Sheila, in exasperation, just goes, "Oh, go have another drink. Go and get more wine." So it's a codependent.
But it's also
you know.
the other thing last night that I found very strange indeed was Sheila saying, "Well, you know, your dad didn't love you as much as your sister, and you were always my favourite."
Relationship.
No one says that to a child. That's
but what it is,
it's a very strange dynamic.
It's such a nasty toxic relationship, isn't it? It's that trauma bond where they sort of they love each other, but then they sort of want to hurt each other.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, like, she said some horrible things to like the mum. So the mum.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but when Sheila said that. Yeah, when Sheila said that to her, that was like when I was kind of like off Sheila. Like, you don't say that to your children.
And especially when she's obviously distressed and also very, very intoxicated. There's no benefit to having any kind of conversation like that at any point, let alone she'd been drinking. The first bottle of wine arrived yesterday morning at 11:23.
Does mum
start drinking live?
Yeah, it was all day. It was
No
by
way.
11:43. That bottle of wine was opened, and Top Girl made a mention of it and said, "And you said you'd wait until 1 o'clock," and she'd already opened the bottle and was swigging it from the bottle.
From the bottle, yeah.
There were more deliveries through the day, and by last night she didn't know what day it was.
No. I think, thank you, Mary, for letting me back up. I had to drop earlier because my phone went weird. Someone was calling.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you for letting me back up. And you know what? I made a cup of tea and I was thinking about it for a second, like, as in, you know, this is really good that we're able to talk about like the different issues, and that people, unless they, you know, agree, like in Angie's box, it's like, unless you agree with her, she'll just speak over you or get dropped or whatever. You know, echo chambers and stuff. But I think that my main concern actually is for other people. Like, okay, forget if Angie is an alcoholic, an addict, mental health issues, right? Ultimately, we don't know. We can assume, we can, you know, gather the information and say this is what we think. But actually, I do think that actually people need to be mindful of their own mental health now when going into Angie's lives, because what I saw in like a half an hour window was she actually reminded me of a narcissistic person that I know, and I'm not just branding that word around, like this person has got a narcissistic personality disorder that I know. And what Angie does is she's really, really good at gaslighting and manipulation. And so you'll be watching the live and you would have seen something with your own eyes, heard something with your own ears, and she will tell you that you didn't. And I think for any person that has experienced being around that type of behaviour ever, that actually watching Angie is I think that's why I steer clear of her entirely.
Do you know what? That is my reason, because I spent 11 years with that, being denied my feelings and everything that I'm seeing. She is really triggering for me. So I don't watch her, but
you know, for anybody that's had a parent that's an alcoholic as well, like there's a support organisation called Adult Children of Alcoholics, and what you'll find there is also just support. And I know I mentioned Al-Anon before, so Al-Anon is for friends and family, or if you're affected, it could be a co-worker. If you sit next to a person who's an alcoholic at work for 8 hours a day, they're affecting you, right? So you can go to Al-Anon, but there's also a service called Alateen. So if you live with an alcoholic and you have children in the house, and those children need somewhere to access like a safe space and talk about their feelings, and maybe therapy is not an option. Waiting lists are huge and it's really expensive. Alateen is also somewhere that you can go to access support. It doesn't have to be 12-step fellowship either. Like, there are other support groups out there, but I would just really, like, what I see on the app, on this side of the app, right, the drama talk side of the app, is a lot of unwell people.
Agreed.
Day in, day out.
Do you have those listed on your site, Button Bell?
I can. I'm gonna put something on my page actually. I think creators need to add that to the list of services when we put up the helplines, maybe, that so that the people that are affected by it can also reach out. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll add them to my page. I don't post on my own page. The only things you'll find on there is because I went into quite a few lives a few months back, all to do with racism, and people would be like, oh, well, how do I learn how to be an anti-racist? How do I know how to access the resources? And I got so sick of repeating the same stuff that I've just pinned on my page a list of resources. So if you want to add that string to your bow as well.
Yeah, I'll double check, or if you can send it to me if it's a different one than what you've got, I'll add it to the helplines in the rooms that I sit in and
perfect. Yeah, I'll definitely add it to my own page.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think also to the other creators that keep interacting with her on it's just all banter or whatever, they need to stop giving her the attention. They need to stop going in there. They need to stop.
Always help out.
It's childish behaviour, and it's for attention. They're contributing to the problem. Yeah, it is, and they're all as bad as each other. But it is. They can't keep calling it out if they're going to continue to be part of it. They're either part of the problem or part of the solution, and it's not going to happen immediately. But they do have ownership on going in and also, like, she baits, but the other people bait. But the bottom line is everyone has to be responsible for their own behaviour in real life, and that needs to transition over into social media also.
But I think
that's just my opinion.
The frustration for a lot of people, I mean, I don't get involved. This is the first time I've ever been in a box. I am very much an observer. I work from home, so I kind of have my AirPod in, listen to bits and pieces through the day. I'm just nosy, if I'm being completely frank with you. But I own it. But I think the difficulty is when situations like this happen, I don't blame anyone else for Angie's situation other than Ange. I don't agree with this thing about her mod enabling her or anything else. We are all responsible as adults for our own behaviour. That's it. Categorically. She had said this morning, first thing when she was in Charlie's live, I take no responsibility whatsoever for what happened yesterday.
Wow.
None of it was my fault. Nothing I did was anything to do with my own behaviour. It was all Dave and it was all Pearl.
So she made that categorically clear. Dave and Pearl for her reaction to what she did.
Yeah, she's absolutely blaming she wants to report Pearl and Dave to the police for them doing it.
I mean, to the police about Pearl. But she categorically said to a whole audience this morning on Charlie's Live, I did nothing wrong yesterday. I have done nothing wrong.
Those flashing her arm with all blood all over it then. That's
and the cult will be saying, that's right, Angie, you've done nothing wrong. Stand up for yourself, Angie.
And it's a classic example, Angie. But she went to Charlie this morning to garner attention from him and from the people in his room and anyone that may be listening. Yeah. This is a man that she has accused of taking to the police, of having evidence of what he's done to her for months on end, and then goes into that same room to garner attention, and not one he was the worst, and other people in that room, not one of them said, no, you need to take responsibility first before you start blaming others.
No. And he wouldn't let me out.
Chamber.
To say that.
See, the only
just as a last thing, can I just say that for people that go, you've been in her room? Yes, I have. The only time I've entered her room is to call out her behaviour when she talks about such triggering topics like domestic violence, CSA, CA, talking to peddlers, thinking that she's going to get them to talk on subjects, being uninformed and giving out misinformation. And she loves to screech my name and say that's Sarah. She hates me. That's why she says what she says. She hates me. I don't hate anyone because, quite honestly, I don't think people. I think hate's a strong word, and I always try to pull apart behaviour from a person. As a human, I can have empathy and understanding for someone else, but they also need to take accountability for their own behaviour in order for that to be something, where they get help for themselves. What I do have is pity. I pity that she's in that position and that she chooses not to get herself help. And I also support all the people that turn up in all the rooms that I am in who express just how much it affects them, or how they share their story because they think it's relatable and it's thrown back in their face. Because what it does is it stops real victims speaking up. It stops them asking for help, and it really convinces them that people are not going to believe them if they do that. So that is where I come from a personal point of view.
I think
I don't sit there. I've never sat there. I've never, chatted. I've never bantered. The only time I've joined that room, and you can tell because when I join, everyone's like, "Not her again. Get her out." No.
I think
it is what it is.
Sorry for talking over you there. I'm going to hop off in a minute. But I think with Angie's room isn't about anybody else but Ange. She doesn't want to talk about anybody else. She likes to be controversial, to cause issues, just to have debates and numbers, very much about the viewers, the numbers, how many people, the platform, someone stealing my platform. It's all about that. But ultimately, that room is just about Ange. She doesn't care about anybody else's story. Otherwise, it wouldn't be money guns for trauma dumping or anything similar. It's her room, her platform. Agree with that or get blocked or muted. That's it.
Yeah.
Careful. Hi, Amy. Amy Brooklyn. Brooklyn. You okay?
I'm going to drop Mary, but I'll still be in the comments and do the poll.
I do think, though, Laura, that it's just like factually true that her mods and other people around her are enabling her. Because if we are all in agreement that she's an alcoholic, then why are people still sending her gifts? Why is her mod in her box lying to the paramedics and the police? Like, why are people not holding, like, listen, the thing that you can do for someone that you care about is hold them accountable. So if these people really feel like they, that they love Angie, they worship Angie, whatever, I think it's kind of sick in a way, this hero worship of her. Then the reason they're not letting Mary into the box this morning is because they're all just nobody is saying to Angie, like, what you did last night, like, okay, it might not all have been you, but like 95% of it is you, like, you were wrong. But she never ever has that from her people.
Yeah. They want her.
It just goes to show how many badly wired people there is out there.
Up her ass, blow smoke up her ass.
Exactly.
Because if they actually believe in what she's saying, I don't know if it's you've dealt with a narcissist or you've been around toxic people that you learn these things quicker and you know their traits.
Yeah.
But I thought there'd have been a lot more people that had dealt with narcissists in their life and would see through her. But there's just so many people that believe, and like you say,
in her life, Goddess, there's a percentage of people that believe her, Then there's a percentage of people that is waiting for the inevitable to happen, And then there's a percentage of people that are, just flip-flopping, do you know what I mean? And, or just...
you think it's people that are sort of avoiding coming across the
live, or they're just coming across the live, and because of what's happening, they're sort of compelled to watch. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that all of them are for Angie. Do you know what I mean? They're all there for their own reasons.
Now they're trauma bonded to her.
How much money she gets?
Yeah.
So all the gifts enable her drink. That's why she's able to order food and wine at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Of course.
Because she's just been given another £200 or whatever.
See, the thing is, right, when someone dies, you get a death certificate, right? And the reason for the person's death is written down on it. And there are so many instances where addiction or alcoholism will not be written down, because I tell you why. Angie might not think, anyone that has lived with an alcoholic or knows an alcoholic knows that it's a really long, slow death, right? It's like, it doesn't happen overnight. Cirrhosis of the liver, liver failure, delirium,
it's
wet
a
brain,
horrific
right?
passing, it's horrific.
Yeah, exactly. All of this stuff, this is what alcoholics have got to look forward to if you don't get help, right? But the things that are not written down are to the shop and she accidentally steps out in front of a bus, or she gets knocked over because of, I had a friend that fell backwards off of a balcony, right? And actually, so it's not what she can lie to her people all day long and say that she's just a binge drinker, but it's if alcohol is causing you issues in your everyday life, then there's a really big problem there that needs addressing. But whoever it was that said, I think it was Laura who dropped, that she's already saying, I take absolutely no accountability. What I will say there is, I can tell you categorically, if somebody is saying the next day that they take absolutely no responsibility, then she's basically not done yet. She will keep. She's not
at the bottom at all.
No, her bottom is going to have to go lower. It's going to have to go lower.
And the thing is, guys, she is, we all know how calculated she is. Those of us that have seen a lot of her know how calculated she is, what a narcissist she is. But there's also another thing. There's alcohol dementia. Very soon, if she's not careful, there's a possibility she won't even have the coronas, the marbles, to even be the narcissist she is.
What was that? Like the mum last night said that she had left the back door and the front door open.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're putting yourself in danger daily.
Yeah.
My jaw was open when I heard that. I was like, oh my God.
The difference is with my mum.
What happened last night? Did it kick off last night? Because I fell asleep.
Baby A, yo, you are so late.
Who's going to update it, Baby A?
I know, I'm so sorry. Well, Mama G, I literally, after your live, I was already in bed, so...
Yeah, you've had a busy couple of days. Mary Motormouth, you know how to explain it in compact. Go. Nothing. Go.
Nothing.
Yeah, so basically, what bit did you see up to, baby? Or did you not see anything? Oh, so basically, Angie was on live as usual, doing her usual bit. She came back on and had SH'd again, if she had SH'd. And she said it was because of what Dave and Pearl said to her, blaming it on them. So then the police and the ambulance show up yet again. We know. So she was talking to the police. So the police were basically saying to her that she was asking them, oh, do you watch me on TikTok? Do you watch me on TikTok? And the guy was like, well, yeah, we've obviously seen you on lives and stuff. And then the police left. And then she was like, why are they watching me on lives? They watch me. They know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And then the paramedic showed up. The paramedic was like, look, what's happened? And she's like, I've SH, but my doctor deals with it. I've got a mental health team. They all deal with it. I don't need you here. And she's like, well, have you taken anything? And she was like, do you take any medication? She's like, yeah, diazepam. She's like, have you taken it today? And Angie was like, no, I'm not telling you. I don't have to tell you. And she was like, well, I'll just look up your medical records. And Angie was like, no, I don't want you to look into my medical records. And then she was like, I need to see your ID to see if you are a paramedic. Like, just being total awkward as fuck. Yeah. So then they were just like, okay, well, if you don't want help, basically fuck off. And they left. So then when they left, Angie decided to phone the police back and lodge a complaint against the policeman, because the policeman said that she watches her on live and everything, and he shouldn't know who she is, and he shouldn't be calling her Angie because her name's Angela. So when she phoned the police back, the policeman was like, okay, well, what's your complaint? And then she was like, oh, like shouting that, and the policeman was like, well, can you please stop shouting down the phone at me, because I'm here to help you. I need to know what your actual complaint is. And then Angie was like, oh, well, fuck off, and then hung up the phone. I know. Well, no, and then Angie said fuck off, and then basically just hung up the phone. So then she's just talking shite, and then Sheila comes in. Big Sheila, after being at the bingo, she's a bit wasted as well. She comes in and she's on the phone to the police. So either she's called them or the police have called her to warn her about what's happened. And then Angie was like, Mom, you phoned the police on me and blah, blah, blah. Because the policewoman said, oh, see, we've already been out to your house. One of your family members called. So somebody's called, either claiming they're her family member or Sheila's called the police on her. And she's like, why did you call the police on me? They're going to come back out and blah, blah, blah. And then there was back and forth between her and Sheila. She was being really nasty to Sheila. And she was making Sheila like trauma dump. She was like, my dad cheated on you. Your mum put you in care. Your mum didn't want you. She put you all in care. And she's like, is this what you want, Angie? You want me to tell everybody about my family? She's like, my mum had 7 children. She worked 40 hours weeks, so she couldn't cope with us. So she had to put some of us in care. And Angie was like, yeah, and then you cheated on my dad and all this stuff. And then Sheila was like, oh, come here, just give me like a hug. She's like, this is all
Such a
because
sick
your daddy didn't
relationship.
love you. He loved your sister more. And she's like, you're my favourite. You were my favourite daughter. You were my favourite daughter. I loved you more. And then, and then Sheila like went to bed, obviously locked the door and stuff. And then I fell asleep. But then I think she was in Canadian Angie's boxes, basically blaming Dave and Pearl for everything. And then she was doing her usual drunk dancing about pretending like nothing's happened. She ordered wine about 12 o'clock again at night. Got more wine.
Oh my fucking God.
And was just basically doing her usual. And then this morning she came on Charlie Ferry's. So Charlie Ferry had a live and she was in there. She came on saying, I'm taking no responsibility for anything. Nothing's my fault. And he had all people in the boxes blowing smoke up her ass. Yeah, so I tried to get in the boxes and somebody went, oh, Mary Motormouse trying to get in, and he's like, oh, I'm not letting her in.
Every time she
obviously
drinks,
because he knows I'm going to come in and absolutely rip the shit off her. And he wouldn't let me in the boxes. Exactly. So he was basically just letting enablers in the boxes and saying it's not her fault. We're caring for Angie. We're here to find out why she's done this. And
ambulance and police going out and the retaliation from Angie. I don't understand how they're not taking her. I don't. And the way she speaks.
I think what they say.
Enough's been said.
This man did say, well, like, we're monitoring your lives.
What else are they waiting
He's
for?
like, yeah, we monitor your
They're
lives.
waiting for her to hurt herself or someone else.
I know.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's
too late.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a case of.
Sorry, it's either going to be R.I.P. Shirley or R.I.P. Angela.
Like put a thing together, if you know what I mean. But their relationship's so weird. Who says that? Hi, Jake. Who says that to their daughter?
By
that your daddy didn't love you.
Who was it? I think it was AR.
And then
the
who
same
says
AR
I loved you more? He
conversation,
loved your sister.
Where she did say, I'm going to be with my dad soon. I'm going to be with my father soon anyway. Did you guys hear that? I'm going to be with my father soon anyway.
I think she wasn't okay though yesterday, Angie, because she was drinking all day. She's never going to be okay when she's drinking, and she was defo triggered because when she was in a box battle with Dave and Pearl, this was her own fault because Dave told her to drop because Pearl was coming in and she decided she was staying in there, and her and Pearl went at it. And then I can't remember, it wasn't Dave, it was somebody else that played a recording that Pearl had of the last time the paramedics went out. And she basically said that she fell down the stairs, that she wasn't self-harming. And it was basically proven that she hadn't self-harmed. So that's what triggered it off, because her and Pearl went at it and they were playing videos of her.
Wow.
And she basically came on and said,
Didn't
well, they say I don't
Dave
self-harm.
yesterday as well out
And
her
saying,
for
look,
lying about
this is
having
what I do.
cancer?
What?
Wow, I didn't know that one.
I don't think it can get any worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to say that, guys. Yes. So they were basically in a four-way battle. It was her, Dave, Hustle, and what's the Irish boy? This Irish boy, Danny, he's like a mouthy one, or is it Joe? I can't remember what his name is. So they were all in a 4-way battle, and then they were all basically ripping the back off her and proving everything that she'd said as lies and stuff like that. James. It was James Aussie, and they basically outed all the shit that she'd said.
Oh,
and
James.
like proved that it was lies and stuff. So she was getting annoyed, and then Dave was like, "Oh, we're going to drop somebody for Pearl to come in," and nobody would drop. They were like, "Oh, nobody's going to drop." So eventually, I think Hustle dropped, and James brought Pearl, Angie, and Dave into it. Pearl and Angie went at it, and they basically played that recording. So Pearl and Angie went at it, and then Angie dropped, and then they played that recording of Angie basically telling the paramedics that it was a scab on her ankle and that she hadn't, that she'd just fallen down the stairs, that it wasn't SH. And then that's obviously what triggered her. So she then went off live, and then when she came back on, she obviously was like, "This is what they've made me do."
She also, Margaret just reminded me, she also offered Pearl out to have a fight in the ring. It's supposed to be happening in December.
Oh, wow. Nah, 'cause I want for
I swear down, she was saying, "I'm gonna knock your block off, Pearl," and she was putting it out there until Pearl put a quick post up saying, "Listen, Ange, I heard you've put it out there that you want to fight with me in the ring, so and so, which is organising with blah blah. The roofer is doing something, and on the 19th of December we can do it then." Boom!
Nah, can you imagine the heights?
She's like, "I'm gonna knock your block off. I'm taller than you. I'm bigger than you." It was crazy. Meanwhile, people were saying, "This Pearl's had 7 years of boxing. Pearl's done 7 years of boxing." Do you know what I mean? Pearl would muller her.
I'm not being funny,
from
but
the
Angie
gypsy community. Pearl is from the gypsy community, right?
Yeah, they fight out.
She would muller her. Honestly,
Absolutely, yeah.
It's got nothing to do with size or anything. Look at Tyson. He's a short ass and he beat everyone.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, what's she thinking just because she towers her?
Yeah.
She said she used to box. I don't believe anything she says.
Yeah, but she says she used to box, but then when Pearl took up the offer, she then turned around and goes, "Well, they say that Pearl's had 7 years of boxing, and I haven't had any. But I've been arrested by the police more than 10 times for fighting." That's what she was saying. Before.
Thanks for the heart.
Oh, thank you.
But those are drunken fights. You weren't fighting with anybody but your shadow.
Yeah, with her Alexa.
That's what I mean. The most she's fighting with is a fucking pillowcase.
Well, it'll be a good night out anyway.
I don't like Pearl. Let me tell you something. I don't like Pearl either. Me can't stand her. I would love to see that woman.
I would pay
slap
money.
the hell out of Angie.
Oh yeah, that Robert makes a good point. How can she do it?
That's too much. Like,
She's getting spin like.
Mind you, she's got vertigo, but she managed to go out and to see the riots when she wanted to.
We've got 2 days. We've got the piss day or we've got the hangover day. What day is she going to beat her on? Do you know what I mean?
Do it on the piss day so she keeps getting back on.
Yeah. She'll be back at it on Thursday. What will happen is we'll all go there.
30 seconds.
We'll be getting
Ideal spin like the waltzes.
We'll sit down. The bell will go ding ding, Pearl will bang, and then we'll get back up and leave.
Mate, I reckon that we could place bets on that shit. I know what my bet's on.
Yeah.
Pearl would do her over, mate. Trust me. I can see that. And then some people were saying, "Oh, but Pearl is an older woman," and Angie was going. This is before Pearl took her up on the offer. She's like, "Yeah, but she's only 9 years older than me. It doesn't make any difference. Like, we can still fight. Blah blah blah." Do you know what I mean? But then as soon as Pearl said, "Right, okay, then let's do this," Oh,
Pearl's a wrong one, but you've got to think she's got up, she's gone to work every day for God knows how many years. She's got healthiness, do you know what I mean, in her. Even though she goes to work, that is like good sort of enough. Do you know what I mean? What does Angie do?
She's healthier than she's a lot healthier than Angie.
I mean, what you've got to look at is that boxing match that Dave just had.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, fuck's sake. Who get in the ring with an old man who eats junk food all day?
Oh, he got knocked out as well. I'm ashamed. The only thing is though, that Angie's going to knock Pearl out is with her smell.
Skunk attack.
And second of all, Pearl did actually say to Angie yesterday in
Goodness,
the box that you are a pissy pants.
Yeah, that's what he had.
I keep missing this shit. I need to stop taking breaks.
Well, his asthma. His asthma kicked in. He didn't have his asthma pump in or something. I don't know.
Oh, please.
He got knocked out.
He was eating a fry up in the morning, right? He done no training. And then he was eating a fucking McDonald's about half hour for the fight. He probably had indigestion. Fucking hell, asthma. It was indigestion.
I'd fucking knock that out.
He should have drunk water that day instead of coffee.
He should have trained. I
mean, he should have ran to the gym instead of drove to the McDonald's.
When you went to the weigh-in,
paid to train.
The weigh-in showed that he didn't. He barely has legs to stand on, much less.
I watched that.
I just think it was a publicity stunt for him to get views. Like, you know what they say, any views are views, even if you are a loser in the ring.
He's seeking for something.
Yeah.
Oh my
he's
God.
trying to do it in a positive way. So he's like, yeah, I'll box it out in the ring. I bet you kids
of an alcoholic.
Anyway, it was for charity, so...
Was it for charity?
Was it for charity?
What charity? Did he name a charity?
I thought it was for charity.
What charity was it for?
Yeah, did you give the money to
the asthma clinic.
The Business Brigade.
Well, he sits in his fucking car all day. I'm surprised.
He sits on TikTok all day.
What charity it was for.
We got 5K, Kathleen says.
I know.
I want to see the big check going to the charity people.
Oh, it was. Oh, they just got paid for it.
Oh, their own charity. Oh, that charity.
So the guy that he was fighting, was he a trained boxer?
Oh, that charity. He's more like a pub fighter years ago.
Was he trained? Was he a trained boxer?
Like, he come across with them vibes. He went in too hard. That's why he had an asthma attack, because he was all like jumpy at the first. He went in too fast. Even I've learned that with boxing. You've got to sort of like ease off a bit.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, pace yourself. Pace it. There's no point jumping around like a jackrabbit.
I'll tell you what, guys. We'll do a poll. So, happy face.
What was it?
Pearl will win. Sad
Happy
face
face Pearl.
Angie would win in a boxing match. Let's go.
I don't really like Pearl's morals,
Red,
but I
Pearl,
reckon
blue,
she'll...
Angie. Oh
I
yeah,
knew
we
it
hate
wouldn't
them
last
both.
long, you know, their
But
friendship.
in a fight.
Me too. It was just a
I
matter of
reckon
time.
Pearl would take her.
Oh shit! I just pressed the wrong one by pressing me mic.
And they recorded each other.
Oh, you're the odd one out.
Baby, you showed yourself.
I pressed me mic, baby.
If you're doing bits, baby, I do little bits on that one.
Fuck's sake. Nah, because I'm already getting hold on this fucking app, I swear to God.
You know she's going to pull the mental health card.
But she hasn't got mental health.
No, she's not. She's just fucking schizo.
Yes, Pearl would win.
She'll be like,
leave the house
what
either, so
are
they're
them
gonna
things
box
that the
in her
kids have
room.
got?
Is Sheila going to referee?
I don't know, I've only seen her arm.
Have you seen Sheila as well, by the way? He was on her camera last night. She was quite glamorous. Like, Sheila actually
The poor
watches.
woman. Imagine, listen, yeah. What the last time before last night, I heard
Like, do you mind giving that to
mum ranting at Angie, she was complaining about, you know, how the rubbish has all gone down the street and the towels are all dirty. No. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, the poor mother has gone to use one of the towels. And we've all seen that this woman has used the towel to wipe a batty crease with it and just left it up there. Mum's gone to use it after washing her face or something and just wiped her face in her daughter's ginger and tea.
No, I feel sick.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking all these types of scenarios and that. It's terrible.
Did you not hear her the other day? She was laying in her bed, I can't remember, about 2 days ago now, and she was banging on the wall, telling her mum to bring in a sandwich, bring in a pillow.
Oh.
And her mum wouldn't listen to her, so she rang her on the phone, bring me in a pillow. She went, Mum, are you hungry? Are you hungry? And her mum was like, no. And she's like, you sure? I'll get you something to eat. And she's like, oh, go on then. And she's like, nah, fuck off. Put the phone down.
Oh, no.
She's appalling. She's appalling.
And then she was still like banging the wall, going, "Bring me my pillows now." I was like,
and then she screamed at her, "You didn't shut the door." Then she banged on the walls. You got to shut the door. Then she banged her, come back and shut the door. She was appalling.
Because obviously I get triggered. I'm like,
oh no, it went on. It went on. She's like, "You didn't shut the door. Come back. I feel all exposed."
Oh, for God's sake!
And then she rang her, and then she screamed and screamed, and her mum came out and said, "Stop carrying on." And she's like, "You left my door open." It went on for about.
I think at
20
this point
minutes.
For me, have you seen them jet washers on TikTok? I think for me at this point, I would just be Sheila and I'd be in there with the jet wash, just like, shh.
I just quickly also joined to say, you know, with the boxing thing, does anyone not remember that when they weren't friends before they were and they were going at each other, they were going to have a boxing match then, and as it came about a week, I think it was, up to before it was due to happen, Angie claimed mental health issues and Pearl's like, that's it, I'm out. There's no way that I want to do that. But Angie was all big talk for weeks and weeks and then went, oh, no, you know, I've got mental health issues and I've got vertigo, so I don't want her to punch me in the head. So, and Pearl's like, that's it. Like, I am not being accused by anyone of doing that. And then next minute they were besties.
Yeah.
So it's like rinse and repeat. We've been through this boxing thing before. Everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, this literally is like nearly word for word from the last time. It's like two of those cartoon characters, you know, that box the air in circles but never hit each other.
I tell you what, right now, on this live, hey mate. Guys, on this live right now, whoever's screen recording this, whatever Angie's little minions, go back to Angie and tell her I will give her £5,000 in cash if she has a boxing match with Pearl.
She still wouldn't get
$5 grand. I'll pay it.
Even if she wanted to,
If she gets
see
in
what?
that ring.
By the time it comes round, because it's supposed to be in this,
£5,000.
it's supposed to be in December. It's supposed to be in December,
Baby,
yeah.
I know you're
And
in
like,
ring. I don't want to
even
see
if
that.
she wanted to be in the ring in that December date, yeah, the alcohol will not allow her. It won't.
No.
It wouldn't, even if she wanted to.
I don't want to happen. That's why I'm giving her $5 grand.
What I'm saying, mate.
I will give $5 grand to Sheila to get in a ring with
There you go, baby. Just put the 19th of December in your diary just in case one of them pulls out.
The 5K, I'm going to do it for free because
Sheila,
I get the enjoyment
if you're
out of this.
We should imagine if we had that in. So like, if we had like this side of TikTok versus that side, like boxing matches. Oh my God!
Team RoboCop.
Yeah, you got Team RoboCop.
I was going to say take someone my own age, but I am a little bit scared of Jim Zeno. I think she'd kick my ass.
Do you know who I would take? Lens.
Oh, Jim Zeno's a prick.
She's just all mouth?
She's
no,
a
I would take Jim
pussy.
Zeno. She's a pussy. Oh God, she is
The
a
only weapon
pussy.
she's got are those
nothing.
big long feet of hers.
She's all mouth.
I'm more worried that her teeth are going to fall out at me.
Yeah. I would actually take on Haley with the white heart and Linz at the same time.
The Royal Rumble.
That's how confident I am. I would do them both at the same time.
Holiday after we're looking to a TikTok holiday.
But yeah, James Zeno, nah. She's a pussy.
All I can hear in my head is, let's get ready to rumble!
Let's go. Let's arrange it. We'll do it for charity. Tina, you can referee.
I'll do the commentary, man.
I wonder who'd be stupid enough to think they can take her on would be the way I'd phrase that statement.
I think me and Becca have very similarities.
Get exposed, mob.
A lot of similarities me and Becca are.
Yeah. Baby and Becca. Jordan's going to open his own fight club, guys. Let's do it. It would be quite funny though, eh? Imagine if we did like a big charity thing. I've never been doing a charity. I'm just knocking folk out.
Unlike all the other battles where their voices, no one wins, it's just repetitive. You've got to remember that Rebecca pretty much has had knockouts with everyone that's come up and challenged so far verbally, so you'd be stupid enough to take her on.
My thing is though, like, mine's is like, if you irritate me that much, like, I just get like a red mist.
So I'm lucky. I grew up with an older sister, so we were always scrapping. So I kind of have got a few sort of little
I can't.
You know what I mean? And she's always been a drinker as well, so she's like proper aggressive.
Me and
I used to get prepared whenever she come home drunk and that, like, oh God, she's gonna start me. I would just hide in my bedroom, but she'd come in my bedroom, just like throw my tea over me and things like that. She was proper sort of like,
you'd be like, come on.
Oh, she was obnoxious, mate, obnoxious. That's why I'm wary of her now, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? When she gets drunk, 'cause I'm like, oh, I don't know why, but it's like she always takes it out of me. When she gets drunk, I'm like, oh, I'm out of it. She always takes it out of me.
She's a reflection of who she should be. You're a reflection of who she should be. That's why. Scottish girl.
I was doing that to Button Bell. You need to drop and come back, please.
I hate it when it does that.
Is it now? Try it now. Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's so annoying.
Mary, come out and
everybody's just sitting in
fight
Angie's boxes, like having a good old tea party.
I'll fight you for a fiver, Jimmy.
It's me and Scottish Doll.
Let's go! Scotland to one, bye!
I'll fight you for freedom. That's death. Yeah, now they're all just sitting there like cups of tea. You're fine, Angie. Nothing's wrong with you.
Like brush it under the carpet.
That's the worst thing. I think that's probably one of the worst things.
All the time she was putting it out there about the and I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you, bro.
I'm gonna see that.
I'm gonna fight you. I've got the hiccups. I'm gonna knock your block off, bro. I want to fight you in London, somewhere in London. I'll meet you up. It was so funny. It was so funny.
What? Are you joking, Paul?
We don't talk about fucking Fight Club, Jordan.
Wait, there's a guy called Kieran in our box. He's got disabilities.
Guy. He's been in there a few times of late, and it's quite. I'm worried for that person.
Sounds so young.
I don't like name Kieran, yeah.
Hey. This is
one thing a minute.
So basically, he's been on Pearl's light. This is what I've gathered from Angie's. Pearl has dragged him into it, but Angie is also dragging him into it by continuing the conversation. He's been in there for a good, like, at least maybe 5-10 minutes now. But Pearl said to him, Angie's modded him, which I don't think is appropriate anyway. He seems vulnerable to me. And Pearl said to him, Angie's only modded you to because she feels sorry for you. So now they've been. This is really not like sitting well with me at all.
That's that into it.
Like, he's clearly vulnerable.
Yeah, definitely. That's like I said. Yeah, I feel worried for him as well. And he's up there, and he's been modded by Angie. My thoughts only. He's been modded by Angie because one, it's a good look for her. When she turns around, if somebody turns around and says, you know, she can say, well, I have this person in my box. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell me that I'm this, that, and the other. And on the other hand, you know, to the people that are for her in the comments, it's like, oh, see, Angie is a good person, really. And, you know, the gifts keep coming. My thoughts only.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that completely. It's performative. And also, if he asked to be modded, she should have. It's not appropriate for her to have. No. And Fudu's saying that they're good to him, but is this being good to him? Like, even having this conversation, having him in the box for so long, and you can tell he clearly feels like guilty about all of this, and he's like trying to think of like solutions of how to fix it. He's like, oh well, maybe I'll go have a word with Pearl, and Angie's just rabbiting on and on.
She's just going to mess his head up even more.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably, well, you can know he's going to be confused. Like, and that's just going to sort of, that's so sad. Right, guys, I've got to jump down because I'm going to get my little one from school.
All right, darling.
But thank you for having me, guys. See you later. See you later, Mama G.
See you, love.
Big respect to you all.
No problem, Goddess. Thank you so much for coming up. You're welcome anytime, my love. This is disgusting. What the fuck?
That's a pure statement.
I'm going to go mental.
Abusing.
I'm literally going to go mental.
I added him in her comments to ask him if he's got like a caregiver or family member nearby, because I don't think they know these conversations are going.
Do you know how old he is, Poundstone?
I'm not sure. I think he might be in his 20s, and I don't know for sure, but he to me, voice wise, he sounds very similar to someone I know with cerebral palsy.
On that age range.
Yeah.
And so I think, he's 21, but I don't think mentally.
He could be still at home with his parents. So all I'm thinking is obviously, some obviously stay home with the parents, don't they? Or some at an age get a carer, don't they? And they go on their own journey.
He's wheelchair bound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's an adult. He's an adult, and if it's cerebral palsy that he does have, then you know, he's making his own decisions at the end of the day. Because you know, cerebral palsy it's not a brain thing, so he's making his own decisions as a man.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. A. I will definitely say that wheelchair user going forward.
My thing is more the fact that
actually does.
Even if people that are friends with her and Pearl, she's now, do you know what I mean? Like putting them in a position. Yeah,
he's a grown man and he's making his own decisions to be. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Cerebral palsy is a physical condition, so like you know,
sometimes it can go hand in hand with. He just came across a little bit younger to me mentally.
Well, it depends. It depends. Like, we don't know what is wrong with him, do we?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm coming from the angle that if he does have cerebral palsy, nobody should be looking at him like, oh, you know, like he's got mental health issues, because it's got nothing to do with mental health.
Yeah.
Most people with cerebral palsy are doing their thing and living their life, and very, very well talented.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what? We know he's an adult and he loves the drama, but what she's doing
he's a
is
young man
using him
of
for
21,
manipulation between her and Pearl.
All these people are more middle-aged and stuff like that.
This is what he might not be seeing.
All the bollocks. Do you know what I mean? If it was somebody else, they'll be saying, "Oh, why you got somebody so young?" Do you know what I mean?
Someone vulnerable.
Modding. Exactly.
True.
If I had a 21-year-old, look at what happened with Scotty. What they said we were all doing with
vulnerable
Scotty.
in their own way, but people have got more vulnerability.
So exactly. So do you know what I mean?
People are. It's like when people pull over the wool over your eyes. Do you know what I mean?
he might not know the backstories of everything like we do.
Yeah.
The thing is that he doesn't recognise.
He's had people in their boxes
what he's
that
not
are like
recognising
18 in that
is
before
that
as
he's
well.
being used, and
Like
that's the
these
thing.
are young, influential people.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what annoys me. Like, people are being used, and like, as you said, it's young people. She's had 18-year-olds in her boxes before. Young people that are easy to influence. Let's face it, when we were all young, of course you're easily influenced. And she's using them and manipulating them. It's the manipulation of everything that annoys me. She's just disgusting. And all she's doing is just sitting there. She's literally sitting there yawning. While she has people like that hungry guy in the box who's an absolute animal.
Yeah, I noticed even
people in
the
her
cold
comments are
don't
saying
really
hungry
like
guy is
him.
horrible.
Sorry, guys.
Now, I could be wrong. I just felt like he sounded a little bit uncomfortable, like when he was speaking about this today.
It's probably because he wants to please the pair of them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very bad for them to put him in the middle of their pettiness.
And it's just a lot of people don't want.
They're two fully grown adult women. And you've got a 21-year-old in there and you're trying to manipulate him
into the opposition Pearl, you then turn round and try and make him feel bad about himself by saying, oh, she's only letting you in because she feels sorry for you. That's terrible. That's a horrible thing to say to somebody.
Has anyone asked him that, Mama? Has anyone asked him that question?
Yeah,
no,
Angie
sorry,
said it when
Pearl
he went
said
into the
that
live.
to
Pearl
him
only
about
wanted you because she feels sorry for you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Wait, I've got it here. So basically, Kieran came in and asked Angie if he made him mod out of sympathy, and they asked if Pearl told him that, and he's just said no. But that's how he took someone's comment. Others are saying
this morning.
Claire Duffy said it. But Angie's running with that. It was defo Pearl. Kieran ignored Pearl.
He should drop them.
Kieran is now saying he's stressed out, but Angie and Hungry Guy are still questioning him.
Like I said, he is a man now. He's got the choice to drop.
Yeah. So apparently, actually, Kieran was in Pearl's live, and Pearl said to him, well done for getting made mod, and that he's always welcome to go on her platform, regardless of him being Angie's mod, and that he should just go where he feels comfortable.
Right.
So I think what Angie's doing is basically just twisting it. So Angie's cult is saying to Kieran,
does anyone actually believe
do you know what I mean? Somebody's twisting it somewhere.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. It's because, like, even if like this was a setup in the beginning,
I was just thinking this, Mother. What about if this is all a setup?
I don't know.
It might have been a setup in the beginning, but it's gone too far now.
Like last
Do you know what I mean? You could see where it all changed for Pearl. Like, nah, I'm not having it now. What are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
Like, you could see it.
I wish I watched it.
Angie was bringing up, like, you could tell Pearl was furious
It's
last
getting
night.
personal. It's getting personal.
Like, you know, her relatives that were in the news.
Relatives and that. It was bang out of order. It was.
Oh, okay.
And you know, each time Angie does that, we can all see when she throws something like that at you, it's because she can't find anything else like to say, and she's frustrated, so she says something like that. But it will always joke. It will always hurt. It will always feel like you're twisting the sheffers in you. And she knows it. She's a wicked woman, you know. She's wicked. She's a wicked woman. Without the alcohol too. She is a wicked woman. She's a narcissist. You don't just you don't you know, you don't get drunk and suddenly you're a narcissist. No. You're a narcissist.
Yeah.
I'm great. I get loud.
Yeah, because when everybody else gets drunk, I don't know about you.
Whatever mood,
but I'm
whatever
not really,
mood
you know what I mean?
in, that is what the alcohol is going to emphasize for me. Do you know what I mean? If I'm in a good mood, I'm gonna be in a happier mood. But if I'm down in the doldrums, and I think that it's gonna cheer me up, I guarantee you it won't.
Oh, they're cool.
Oh,
I like that.
Jordan just made me a new picture.
I don't.
I love it.
Yeah, like,
don't drink myself.
If I'm in a bad mood, I ain't drinking because I know what
I know, Mama. Like, the fact that it's just sitting there.
If I'm in a good mood, good things are coming from it.
Yeah, yeah.
And when police are saying that they're watching her and they've been watching her, well, how long are you going to watch this woman before she literally does something? It's going to be someone else's fucking life dependent or her own.
That's what they are waiting for. That's what they are waiting for something
I don't reckon they're watching her in between. I reckon what they meant is probably they are getting... Like because the other night I had to make a welfare call for someone.
They actually said they've been monitoring in case of self-harm. They said it.
Do you know what blew my mind, Mummy, right? The last time when Pearl and someone else was in her box and they let her put her phone on the side. Normally, a copper will grab that phone out your hand and turn it off. Why they
imagine if that was imagine if that was me or Paige.
Not in the case of a welfare check though, because she's not technically detained. She's not detained, so she's still not. She's still kind of free to do as she pleases in terms of like the phone.
How psychotic she was being that morning. That night, yeah. Like she couldn't even catch breath. She was screaming at the coppers. She was irate. She wanted to get her saying and no this, no that, this way this. And to me, like you're in cuffs and on the floor and face down first. You're talking to a copper like that in my eyes. Like it's just screaming, help me. Yeah, that's it.
I don't understand why they would put up with her.
Scream at a cop. I've been in cuffs, straight up. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not acting any aggression or, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm in control. They take control straight away because that's what they're like. So how's she been able to act like this? And exactly when that live was put on that table, I went, no, I'm not watching this right now. How are they compromising with it at this moment in time?
Also, because she's in her own home as well, they can't. It's different to if she was out in public. She's allowed to sort of like do what she can film them if she wants in her own home and stuff.
Oh, okay. I just thought.
Yeah.
So she could film. So I could film.
Well, it depends if you were detained. If you're detained, you're not allowed to go on your phone without their permission. It's kind of like the step before being arrested or in between being arrested if you're detained. But I think because they come for a welfare check.
You can only imagine that when she opened that door, how irate she was and trying to barge them out and whatever. You can only imagine what happened when the phone went off for a bit.
Well, she kept referencing Sarah Everard, which it infuriates me that she doesn't even have enough respect for the woman to get her name correct when she says it. And she was I don't know if you saw, she kept asking the paramedics and the police for ID.
Yeah. I love that she asked the paramedics for ID. Like, no one can give out this medical bag and drive about in an ambulance just for the crack. Just so I can get into your house, I'm a piss-stained tramp.
My
So
ex
I
is a
can just come
paramedic,
in
and they
your
genuinely
house,
don't
Angie,
carry
yeah?
ID
That's
with
why I
them.
dressed up as a
Like
paramedic.
they're sort of. They don't. It's true. They don't have like
that's the
a like you know
paramedic
how
said,
police
she was
have
like,
a
"I don't carry
warrant
ID."
card. Like
Thank
that's not the paramedics don't have sort of like an official paramedic ID to show them. Like they have an NHS like card, like same as, but it's not. I don't know what she wanted them to materialise.
They just have a badge number.
In a uniform,
That's what I'm
out of
saying,
a
look. They come in with a
out of an
medical bag,
ambulance
out of an
van.
ambulance. What you want? Wait, hello? Who's going to go that far just so they can get into a piss-stained tramp's house? Yeah. I just want to get into your bedroom and smell it. It's so true though. Like, really? I'm just going to show up here with my medical bag.
Piss-stained tramp.
Oh, hi, sorry, I just it fell on me, my phone, I didn't mean to. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Oh, no problem, my love. I'll drop you. Yeah, I always call her a piss-stained tramp because she is. I know, just driving around. Oh, what can we do? What house will we hit as paramedics? Let's go straight to Flanges.
My mum lives in the same borough as her. Like, my mum struggles with her physical health. Like, thank God, not regularly anymore, but there was a point where we were having to call her ambulances regularly because of her physical health. And that, and also she wasted so much of their time, like asking for ID, that they could be working on that job during that time and then move on to another job. She's taking up that, especially in that bit of London, the resources are so stretched. They shut down all the police stations. They've closed down all of the A&Es over the past 10 years. Like, it is a joke. Like, the areas that the A&Es and the police stations there have to serve are massive. And she's just hoovering up resources. And it's not like there's other stuff, like, it's not a posh bit of London. There is crime out on the streets.
Yeah, I was going to say, so because London obviously don't have a lot of resources.
You just made me think, like, trigger warning, guys, like, but my partner had to wait for the second ambulance to come because the first ambulance what came didn't have the resources on. It was busy somewhere else. So I had 5 paramedics here before we went to the hospital. But we had to wait for that second ambulance because the ambulance what came didn't have the resources on what we needed at the time. So, yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would have been like. I'm so sorry.
The government fined like 10 billion and more to put into this war. Sure.
Yeah, when you're getting told, oh, can you just go wait outside look for the ambulance, just look for the ambulance. I'm thinking, why have you not got the resources? Why have you been sent knowing that it's a cardiac arrest and you haven't got the resources? It doesn't, it's...
Yeah.
Big hugs, man. Hugs, baby.
Guys, and this is the reality of it.
It's just to give me a bit of a flashback, She was
when you have people
keeping me out of the room, obviously they were doing the CPR because that's as much as they could do. Until this other ambulance came with, I think obviously it's I don't want to go into details, but but what they've got. And you got idiots like this who mock the NHS, and it used to boil my blood anyway, but when you've actually got a reason because you've been through something what needed that service right there at that fucking moment in time, it boils your blood.
Yeah. I can understand. It boils my fucking piss as well. Like, this is what I'm saying, guys. This is reality of what Angie is doing. This is the reality of what Ames is doing, what these people are doing, and the people that call them for them.
This is what you're doing. You're taking time away from people that actually need it. They don't give a shit.
No, she does
They're
not
wanting to get
engage
better.
with
don't care.
anything that
You're
you
wasting
could
valuable
deem
time.
like psychologically healthy. And it pisses me off when the cult go, well, we can't tell her what to do. We can't force her to do something. But you don't encourage her to engage with anything that is remotely healthy for her, like psychologically whatsoever.
Oh, they'll engage you with a fucking stereo or a bottle of wine, though.
Nah.
But they won't engage her to do things for, like, say, take a bath, go brush your teeth, go be nice to your fucking mother, be a normal human being.
Imagine Linz was saying, I swear she was trying to even talk to the police or the ambulance. Oh yeah, I'm a friend.
She was, yeah.
I've been talking to her offline. I've been helping her. Who the fuck are you?
Kept trying to tell the paramedics what to do. She was like, yeah, I think me and Angie just want to get her into bed and deal with this that way. I was like, that'll be the judge of how it gets dealt with. Thank you very much, Linz. Have another swig of Oromorph.
There you go.
Exactly. Like, who are these people to even say anything? Her mum didn't even have she didn't even have food in the house. She was offering to buy her mum a McDonald's at like 12 o'clock last night. She doesn't buy anything for her mum or that. She doesn't pay towards the bills.
Imagine though if she did get
sectioned, she was sitting on
like
20 grand
give
in
her
her
a
bank.
few weeks and things like Angie would see who was actually there for her, not these fucking fake robots I call them, because you're not. Because like you say, Linz, how long is Linz top girl? Fucking all her regulars in the box. Have they ever gone meet her or gone for a coffee with her to see if she's actually okay?
No, I don't think so.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
You keep
That's
saying
okay,
like
love.
you care
I think
for
none of
her
you
and
have
you do all
actually
these things
met
for her,
this
but have you
woman.
actually done anything for her?
No, I think Rickster's the only one that's gone to see her. And saw how that turned out as well.
And that was for clout.
People are just massive.
Hey, we're trying to get our pads. Oh, bleh, bleh, bleh. Have you seen that Rickster now? He acts like he's part of the God Squad now.
I haven't heard that name.
A goddamn person now.
In years.
Such a joke. It's ridiculous.
I thought he'd come off.
They keep spouting the same old thing. I never hear them. I never hear them quote any of the scripture because they know none of it.
Oh, Whitney, who just came in, said that because me and Alicia pointed out that she was part of the. Oh no, I pointed out and then Alicia blocked her, and then she told me that she SH'd because of that. She just came in. No, this was in whose live did she say that to? In Paige's live, she said that to me.
I've heard about this Whitney.
She's her username's Whitney Houston. Like Whitney with pink hearts.
Get out. Get out. Why would she say that? I can't find her.
Because she's from Angie's side. She came into a live yesterday, so I was like, cult alert, cult alert. Well, she'd made a dodgy comment first. Do you remember, Alison? And then later she said to me in another live, because you pointed me out and accused me of being in the cult, I SH'd.
Oh, fuck off.
Know who she learned that from, innit?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I didn't even think that, Mama G, but yeah you're right.
No, I'm sick of this accusing and oh no, I'm
Whitney,
just done.
She's always saying dodgy stuff, is she, Alison?
Hi, Diane.
Yep, using SH to manipulate. That's what Angie does.
No,
that's what they're all doing. They learn from their leader. It's absolutely disgusting. And the fact that they just throw it around so casually.
Yeah.
Like, SH is huge, guys. It's like, when you SH, it's it's something, well, for me personally, that you were ashamed of. something that was hidden. It was something that made you feel more not normal, if you know what I mean.
Shoulders as well, when there's a good fucking reason.
And I did it when I was like 18.
No, that's what I mean.
I would never want to put it on anybody's shoulders. Never. Like, I still live with the guilt of that. Like, if that when people on that found me. Like, you live with the guilt.
The only case in my eyes you're putting the blame on someone else
will never leave
is
you.
like that case of that that boy. Can you remember a few years ago, and his girlfriend was telling him to do it. You remember that boy? Oh my God! When I read that story, that hurt my soul. Yeah, she was telling him to do it. Have you done it yet? And
yeah, she was actually saying to do it.
Yeah, that is the only reason.
Yeah,
when someone gets the blame.
Secret action. It's not
the whole thing, like everything to do with it, like the before, the after, is all shrouded in like secrecy and shame for people that actually suffer with that and don't use it as a tool to manipulate other people. Which is what Angie is using it as, a manipulation. I just felt it was so, she kept showing like her wrist, made sure her wrists were always on camera last night, like her hand was up to her face so everyone could see the blood. And it's just, she's got no regard for even her own followers and how they'd be